the ninjas. The ball in my hand, I'ma get it. Put it on me and we win it. Whoever line it up in front, they gon' get it. We them boys that's coming out the Liberty. Whole gang and the whole team and the whole clique, yeah, we with it.
Quickly back to the line, two wide receivers on the far side, one on the near side. A back, Victorian to the right. Fontenot takes this ball, rolls right, has Bro inside the 5, and he is going to be pushed out at the half-yard line of Hardin-Jefferson. This is a touchdown attempt, and it's a keeper by Fontenot into the end zone for a touchdown.
And it's nice. Liberty Panthers at the 7:31 mark scoring. Gavin Fontenot calling his own number from the 1-yard line, Ross.
Shotgun formation for Fontenot. The lone wide receiver on the right side. Bro goes in motion to the left. Fontenot's going to keep this. Starts to lose his footing. Now going to cut across to the left side of the field. And he is in the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh, that was nice. Fontenot looking to his right and having to cut all the way across.
Receivers on the far side. Fontenot drops back with Valtiera blocking. He throws down the field. He's got Bro. Bro over defender. He's across the 30, the 25, 20. Still on his feet as he cuts over to the near side at the 5. He's still going, and he is going to spin into the end zone for a Liberty touchdown.
And most importantly, no flags on the field. Doubles to the right and left for Fontenot, scrambling to his left, going to tuck the ball and run. 30, 25, and finally getting popped out of bounds by number 29 for the Hawks on Jakor Bankhead on the short side, lone receiver. Fontenot rolling to his right, getting out of the pocket, looking downfield, throwing it over the top. And number 23, Nathaniel Wilkinson, with a monster reception. And that's going to be a big chunk play. First down and 10 for the Liberty Panthers. And Panthers electing to go for it here. Fontenot. Wilkinson in motion. Fontenot rolling to his left, going to throw the ball. And that's going to be into the hands of Zach Bro. Touchdown, Panthers. At the 5:07 mark, Liberty strikes first in the second half and going to retake the lead, of which they haven't had in a little while, Ross. Left for Fontenot. Man in motion, Wilkinson coming across. And that's going to be targeted right to Wilkinson. Makes the clean catch, still on his feet. Finally getting pulled out of bounds by number 3 at the Liberty 45-yard line. And that's going to go through his hands. And somehow, oh my stars, Zach Bro with the acrobatic catch. Tips the ball to himself. Touchdown, Panthers. Liberty Panthers with a much-needed bye to get healthy, get rested. Traveling to Silsbee next Friday. Trotter rolling to his left. Number 10 with a reception. And number 2, Dawson Victorian, coming up with the big piece of lumber and putting the stick. In the shotgun formation, this is a big sequence. Rolling to his right, looking, still on his feet. And the Panthers right there to wrap it up. Great coverage from the defensive backfield, Cord Carter and Caden Jordan there for the stop. Aspire to be. Trotter, no, that's not, yes, Trotter in the end zone and getting pulled down, and that's going to be a quarterback sack. Liberty Panthers holding there, taking over on downs, and well, we're going to see right here, they are going to roll to the right. Fontenot on his feet, and he is going to step in. So I stand corrected at the 124 mark. Gavin Fontenot going to roll out to his right and step into the end zone for a touchdown. Good evening, Panther Nation, and welcome to this live stream of Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, and producer Richard Ewing in the house this evening on the road in Silsbee, Texas at Tiger Stadium for 9-4A action between the Silsbee Tigers and your Liberty Panthers. And Ross, the Liberty Panthers finally getting into the win column last Friday night against Hardin-Jefferson, as we saw from the highlights, homecoming, and it was a good one.
Always nice to get into the win column, always nice to do it at homecoming, and it was a very complete game for the Panthers, although it did get close at the end. And Liberty able to hold on and saw some more fantastic play from Gavin Fontenot and Zach Bro. Colby Ewing on the defensive side along with Bo Fowler, big disruptors. And you can't forget Bishop, Colton Bishop. I had a little momentary lapse in head, but Peyton Freejay had a reception for a 2-point conversion in that game last week as well.
And Ross, the Panthers coming into the game last Friday night against Hardin-Jefferson, the loser of that game, probably whatever aspirations for playoffs out of the picture, and both teams in a big dogfight. Liberty coming out and striking early, and then Hardin-Jefferson coming back and making a game of it, and really didn't get put to bed until late in the fourth quarter.
That game started, and it was just the tale of tempo of momentum. Liberty jumping out to that 13-0 lead, and then Hardin-Jefferson came roaring back and ended up with a 21-13 lead, or 22-13, excuse me.
Talk about Zach Bro, who has seemingly week in and week out has been staking a claim as one of the prominent Panthers that Gavin Fontenot is just relying not exclusively on, but in a big way. And Zach Bro getting it done on both sides of the ball last Friday night.
Well, looking at just the offensive side for Zach Bro for the year, he leads in receptions with 29 for 509 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he's averaging 17.55 yards per reception, and 72.71 yards per game is the average, as long as 71. So he is making some catches that probably should not be caught.
Oh, there's no doubt. He had, and I alluded to that on the broadcast on the highlight at the very beginning, he had a circus catch, and really I think only a wide receiver can make that, and he was doing that as a defensive back. Pops the ball to himself, brings it down, and steps into the end zone for the touchdown.
The interceptions have been big, and they've been in big moments, and he's had them deep in Liberty territory. And he had one as well deep in Hardin-Jefferson territory. Momentary brain lapse. I forgot to drink my V8 today. But somebody who had a really spectacular catch last week, Nathaniel Wilkinson.
He really has come onto the scene. Kind of little targeted until that West Orange Start game. Zach Bro went out with an injury, and then the ball started finding their way into his hand. And since then, he has made some spectacular catches.
Statistics will reflect that because he's got 11 catches for 127 yards, but that didn't start until the West Orange Start game. That's pretty amazing.
And he had some big catches for first downs. So not necessarily scoring catches, but drive-saving catches.
He had one at midfield last week where he went in and caught it one-handed. That was a huge play on that drive where the Liberty Panthers were able to get back in front of Hardin-Jefferson. I think the Liberty School song is about to start.
It was scaring me just a little bit. I heard those drums kicking on, and I automatically was thinking national anthem, but there's no teams on the field yet, so I knew that wouldn't be it. As the Liberty school song is being played, Ross, I want to work my way around the district just a little bit, non-football related. On Thursday, the Liberty Panther cross-country teams competing in the District 24A championships held at Liberty City Park, and what a day for the cross-country teams. Senior Patrick Flowers running a 16:41 and winning district for the third year in a row, so he becomes the 3-time district champion, qualifying for the regionals. And the boys team kind of coming out of nowhere and grabbing the second place finish, also qualifying for regionals. And in a bit of I don't even know what the correct term is, Ross, but the Lady Panther cross-country team, they flew into the contest kind of neck and neck with Hampshire Finette, Hardin-Jefferson, some of the other schools there. when you're looking at point totals, and they were able to grab that third place spot and secure a place in the regional championships. And so both the boys and girls headed to regional competition on Monday, October 24th at Kate Barros Park in Huntsville, Texas. The girls are going to be running at 8:15, and then the boys are going to be running at 8:45. And so it's pretty exciting for me, especially Coach Evans, Coach Howard, the other cross-country coaches. First time in a number of years that both the boys and girls have qualified for cross-country.
The season that Patrick Flowers has put together, career season, and that says a lot because he's had a lot of success in his high school career. Amazing. One of the things that I did see, and I don't know if you posted it or it was posted by someone else, but a picture was taken at the district meet with he and David Adams,
right,
along with Tony Munson, who was David Adams' coach, when he set the record, and Patrick Flowers got right on his heels.
He was on the heels. He didn't quite get it, but he was on the heels. David Adams setting 15:09 for his 5K record in Liberty back in 1983. A great runner himself. So if you're going to aspire to run like someone, that would be the one to aspire to. And then I would be remiss if I did not mention that the LMS Lady Panthers stepped into Liberty City Park in the afternoon. And when they left as the 2022 district champions. And I cannot remember the last time that happened.
It's just a great week for Liberty Cross Country, and I would have been there, but somebody didn't let me know that the meet was this week.
What a moron. Whoever that guy was, you need to fire him. Well, at any rate, both teams, congratulations to them. Senior Julianne Shivers, she had probably the best look on her face. She finished in 11th place, and the top 10 individual finishers automatically qualify. And because we were so close, there was some question as to whether the team was going to qualify or not. And as they started to read out the list of the qualifiers, and the girls realized that they didn't hear their name yet, they were starting to put two and two together. And so they were kind of, frowning a little bit. And then all of a sudden, when they realized that their name was about to get announced as the final qualifier, you can't put a price on the look that those girls gave. It was pretty awesome. And, you'd think me being an AV teacher and whatnot, I'd have my camera out and ready to go. But, I did not.
There are things that are oversights.
Things were missed. Decisions were made. Whatever.
They weren't the right decisions.
They were not
but
the right
were made.
One. Well, speaking of other groups, Ross, the Liberty Mighty Panther Band heading to competition tomorrow, and I believe that's going to be at Port Neches PNG. Let's go, Port Neches Stadium, and they take the field. I think it's an afternoon performance. 4:05 is what producer Richard Ewing is telling me, and that is their sort of playoff qualification, if I were to put it in layman's terms. And Mr. Smith and his whole production crew doing such a great job this season, doing their contest based on Princes of the Universe, Freddie Mercury and Queen, and they have just really put together some cool musical selections and some cool routines, and every week they seem to be getting better and better. Want to wish them all the luck in the world for tomorrow. 3:05 is what I'm hearing now. 3:05. Okay, that's 4:05 Eastern time. If you're keeping that, if you're keeping up with that in the record books, it is also, from what I'm understanding, earlier this afternoon, the Lady Panther volleyball team went to Sour Lake to take on Hardin Jefferson, and unfortunately they fell in 4, and so that puts them, if I'm doing my math correctly, that puts them on a 3-game slide, and then they're going to travel to Hampshire Finette on Tuesday as we head into TVE week, and Coach Anderson and her staff will get that ship righted, and they'll get them back on track. They have been so good this year. They were on a roll, And it seems like every time you get on a roll, you get that one little speed bump, and it gets you. And as I said, she'll get that corrected, and they'll get back to doing what they do best, which is winning ball games. We are about 13 and a half minutes away from game time here in Silsbee, Texas. We have Pink Out shirts on sale, and we're going to have our Pink Out game in 2 weeks on, was that the 28th? And that's going to be senior night. That's going to be the final home game at Memorial Stadium on October 28th. And if you're interested in Pink Out shirts, you can contact producer Richard Ewing at reewing@libertyisd.net, and he can get you taken care of. There's also forms in the front office at the Liberty High School, and I know Miss Armstrong up there will take care of you, and they are going to be $20 for the shirts. And we'd love to be able to paint the stadium pink and support a good cause. Ross?
You brought up Mrs. Armstrong. I'll say this. They have a fantastic staff in the front office that really is always very helpful in everything that they do at the school. Shout out to Stacy Armstrong.
Yeah, she does a great job. And she only gives me a hard time a little bit, not most of the time. So kudos to you, Miss Armstrong, if you're listening. All right, again, we're getting close. Ross, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the keys to the game, and then it should be just about time for both teams to come back onto the stadium. We'll be right back after this message. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, Seth Stewart, and the birthday boy, Alejandro Minivar, on cameras this evening. Want to wish a huge happy birthday to Alejandro, turning the big 1-7 tonight and choosing to spend it with us on the road here in Silsbee. Want to thank our sponsors for this evening's contest. Our scoreboard sponsors, Michelle Mangum Marandino, attorney at law, and C. Bruce Stratton, attorney at law, both fine, upstanding Liberty citizens doing a lot of great work in the Liberty community. And our big sponsor for the year, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation. Without our sponsors, broadcasts like this would not be possible. The equipment that we have, the training that we're able to give the kids, none of that would be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Ross. And I've said remiss before. Maybe that's my word of the evening, remiss. I would be remiss if I did not give a huge shout-out to our CTE director, Mr. Scott Purswell, who goes above and beyond. He's one of the great ag teachers that we've had, along with the rest of our ag department. And, he's got a big plate full of responsibility as we head into TVE. But again, want to give a big shout out to Mr. Purswell, who's always fighting for our CTE department and doing everything he can to help us out in whatever way he can help us out, Ross.
They do a great job, and before he was here, the longtime CTE and ag director was Keith Mee.
And he's still there. He's still doing what he does. He's still there. He's just handing the responsibility over to the younger generation. But definitely the entire ag department, I know they've got their hands full this coming week with TVE, kind of their home meet. I don't know if that's if you can say it that way, but if it was a sport, that's what it would be, their home contest, TVE. And they always have those kids ready to rock and roll, whether it's with the welding or the animal showing or whatever it is that they're doing. Miss Purswell with the floral department, they just do a wonderful. And what do they got? Mr. Nichols, who took over the woodshop program, and Madison Butler, who's kind of taking the lead on welding. they just have a really great department over there, and the kids just really love everything that goes on out there. They're always asking if they can come out there and do stuff, and it's really cool to see the really cool things that they do, Russ.
I'm told they have their own coffee-making machine.
Is that they got their own coffee machine?
I want to say this, though. Next week is going to be a huge week for the kids showing. They put in so much work year-round, hot, cold, wet, or dry. And to be able to get out and show the animal, that's the most fun they have, and there's a lot on the line for them. And they've learned a lot of valuable life lessons as they come through this program.
All right, speaking of TVE, Ross, we are going to be at TVE at least on Wednesday for the parade. What are we going to be doing there, Ross? You know. Oh, you've got this quizzical look. We're going to be live streaming this thing. Oh.
Yes, we're going to live stream the parade. I believe, Joe, you're going to man the microphone.
Oh, man, that's trouble right there.
For the public address system. That's
what I've come to understand. So we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with guests for you, so you're not having to talk for that hour and a half.
Oh, and I imagine.
I expect a Macy's Day Parade level of expertise out of you. I want to know the backstory on every float, every participant, and if they don't stop in front of our spot,
they can't
perform,
stop. They can't stop.
Oh man,
Jennifer will absolutely kill you if they stop.
Oh man, see, you're throwing out names. Jennifer Region, who reached out to us to ask if we would do this. Maybe she'll kill you. She won't kill me. She loves me.
Yeah, you stop the parade and see how that goes.
Okay, you're right. All right, the Silsbee Tigers entering through their ginormous Texas Tiger on the eastern end of the field. And this is one of those different sorts of setup field. This is not a north to south configuration. This is an east-west. That is a giant entrance.
Yeah, that takes a lot of air to fill up.
Yeah, that you may not get a sense of how big that is from the camera, but that is. What do you think? That's 2 or 3 or 3 or 3.5 stories tall?
I was going to say 12, but
yeah, it's getting close to the very top of the goalpost. That's a lot of something.
Oh, it's in 2 pieces.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is. So we're trying to do the math here. Producer Richard Ewing telling us that it's 15 yards laying down. So allegedly that's 45 feet. I'm not going to commit to that. I don't know math.
Well, I'm going to put it allegedly. How does he know it's on 15 yards?
Well, I've learned you don't even just second guess.
I mean, I guess that's right, because he's our official measurer.
He's the
in
guy.
Softball.
That's right. You don't mess with him.
Military and first responder with an appreciation night.
Well, we have just over 5 minutes to go. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts, alongside me, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, and we're on our minimal road crew here. We're getting ready for the prayer and then going to be having the national anthem.
To our first responders, we are thankful that you're our boots on the ground in our community, facing all kinds of challenges to keep us safe. Look around at these brave men and women.
And we're having a nice tribute, have some service members spread throughout the field. I know I saw at least 3 or 4 uniformed Marines out there. And I'm looking across the field on the Silsbee sideline, and there are a number of the military flags over there. And so I am presuming that this is Military Appreciation Night in addition to the pink out game for this community, as it looks like their stadium is full of pink.
At this time, I would ask that you stand, remove your hat.
And now
special prayer.
We're going to have our prayer or moment of silence.
Also one of their students. Leading this week's student prayer is Junior Kendi Lockhart. She is a member of AVID, Student Council, and Softball.
all to be here today to watch this game that we all love. I pray that you keep all the players and everyone here safe during and after the game. Tonight, Tiger Stadium is flooded with pink in support of breast cancer awareness. I pray that you watch over the people battling breast cancer along with their families as they're faced with this difficult time. I pray that you watch over everyone tonight as we watch this game and keep your hand on every boy playing tonight. Our hearts go out to the P&G band who so sadly lost one of their beloved members. In your name I pray. Amen.
At this time, we'll have the national anthem to invite senior, varsity, soprano section leader, and all region choir member, Arian Killian. The Boy Scout Troop 88 will be raising the flag.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And just like that, the prayer and national anthem have been presented, and we're getting very, very close to game time. Captain's getting set to take the middle of the field, and I'm not sure if you're able to hear that, but the stadium announcer indicating to us that the P&G community, the P&G band, lost one of their students, and so part of the moment of silence was for that community, and we want to give a heartfelt condolences and extension of love to that community as well. And as we're waiting for the coin toss, we have one of my Marines out there as Manny Freeman, Cord Carter, Victor Ruiz, and Zach Bro make their way to the middle of the field to represent the Liberty Panthers. I definitely love when I see the Marine Corps out there. I was in the Marine Corps, and so that's always close to my heart, Ross.
They are very involved in Toys for Tots, and that is who they are representing or here with. Toys for Tots as they are getting ready to gear up for the holiday season for Christmas. And on top of everything else they do for the country, they spend a lot of time in volunteer work.
Well, Ross, one of the things that I am super happy about is this new Under Armour uniforms that the Liberty Panthers have, this white top that they're wearing. I can actually see numbers. I don't have to use the binoculars.
Very, very sharp uniforms.
Or at least I don't have to use the binoculars right now. They haven't started moving yet. Who knows what's going to happen when they move? All right, we've had the coin toss.
Number 24, Andy Freeman.
And the Panthers win, and they elect to defer, which means that the Tigers are going to receive the opening kickoff, and the Panthers will take the second half kickoff. Presumably, we will see number 30. What am I doing here, Ross? We're going to see number 30, Diego Diaz-Ramirez, kicking off for the Liberty Panthers to begin this. Now, one of the things that kind of a side storyline, Ross, at the end of last Friday, there was a bit of a kerfuffle, and senior linebacker Colby Ewing found himself on the opposite end of that kerfuffle, and he will be unavailable until after halftime. and so we won't get to call his name, but I'm pretty excited to call him out when he comes out in the second half, as he is a difference maker for the Panther defense. As we're getting ready for this opening kickoff, Ross, your final keys for the game, offensively and defensively for the Panthers.
I know I sound like a record that's skipping, if anybody out there remembers records. But holding on to the football is going to be the big thing. This is a very good Silsbee Tiger team. They always are good, but this year they're ranked 4th right now in the state per the Dave Campbell Texas football high school rankings. And they have some really good individuals. On the defensive side, it's going to be coverage. One of the best players for Silsbee, Draylon Miller, the receiver. He's a junior, and he's 25th in the state of Texas in all levels for receiving yards.
Diego Diaz-Ramirez getting set to kick the ball off the back deep for the Tigers. Number 13, Trey Kibbles. Number 16, Radrian Balltrip. And it's going to be an onside kick attempt, and the Panthers may have it. And it looks like the Liberty Panthers may have it, but there is a flag. They may have touched it before it went the 10 yards.
Yeah, the far side official.
Of course, he may be calling offsides. Yep. Oh, that was a gutsy call right there from head coach Chris Lackey, and that almost paid off in spades. And they were just a whisper over the line there, so they're going to have to set that back up and kick that off again. But, boy, what a way to try to start this off. You alluded to it earlier. State-ranked Silsbee Tigers, always a handful, led by number 1, Draylon Miller, who is seemingly being recruited by everyone in the country, and he's only a junior.
So now, as they get ready to kick this one off, Joe, the question is, do they try that again?
Well, if I had to use my own money, I would say probably not. But what a gutsy call, and I loved it. When you're playing with house money, there's no reason not to do that. Our producer, he's the opposite of me. He feels like they should do it again, and there's probably some merit to that, because who would do that again?
Well, I'm shocked that Silsbee's not saying, okay, we'll take the football in the 5 yards.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they can they deny that? I think they have to re-kick.
Oh, they have to re-kick now.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be something good an analyst would know.
Well, I won't hold that against you, Ross. 11:59 with that 1 second tick off there. So let's get this started again. Diego Diaz-Ramirez kicking off, and this time going to hit a squib, a hard one, and that's going to be nice. Fielded by number 11, Ashton Cartwright, at the 31, and he slips on the turf, and that's as good as a tackle, and the Silsbee Tigers are going to take over at the 33-yard line. First and 10 for Silsbee, and how about 2 nice kickoff attempts to start the game off? And we've seen the Panthers start a little slow the last couple of weeks, and this time that's not the case. Brisbane, the quarterback, is going to be under center for the Tigers. And he's going to hand the ball off to number 13 over the left-hand side, find some running room, and going to get pulled down by number 9, Zach Bro. And number 7, Bo Fowler, is going to pick up a first down on the carry. That's number 13, Trey Kibbles, with the carry for the Tigers.
On the year, Silsbee has not been much of a running team. They have 1,060 yards rushing. They predominantly are going to be a passing team. The Panthers having to play that way to start this one off.
This time Brisbane in the shotgun. The ball on the 46-yard line, looks to his left, going to find number 1, Miller, and going to be on his feet. Going to get pulled down on the far side of the field by number 2, Victorian, and number 5, Landon Curry. And that's going to move the sticks again into Panther territory. 2 plays, 2 first downs, and the Tigers moving into Panther territory at the Liberty 43-yard line, far hash mark. Tigers working from left to right, And Brisbane again moving under center for the Tigers. Going to hand the ball off to number 3, who finds a big gap on the left-hand side, and that's Jonah Brown, and going to pick up close to a first down, maybe 8 or 9 yards on the carry, and the ball's going to move down to the Panther 34-yard line, far hash mark, Ross.
You can't leave a bunch of people in the box with this Silsbee style of defense. Braylon Miller coming into the game, 26 receptions, 750 yards.
Brisbane moving back into the shotgun. Number 16 coming across, and we have a flag, and we're going to get a delay of game, maybe.
Yeah, that looked like...
Okay, I couldn't tell. We're on the opposite side this week, and so the official's not looking at us. That's going to be a false start against the Tigers, and that's going to push the ball back to the Liberty 39-yard line and bring up second down and about 7 for the Tigers. Brisbane moving back into the shotgun. Number 2 to his left, 16 coming across. The running back, number 2, going to get into the middle. And a host of Panthers led by number 50, Cord Carter, finally pulling down Kevin Martin. And he's going to pick up a couple on that. It's going to bring up third down and a manageable 3 or 4. Producer Richard Ewing letting me know that Cord Carter has a recruiting visit tomorrow. He's played so well this year, Ross. Brisbane under center for the Tigers. I form behind him. And this time going to hand the ball off to number 40, who dances around and gets brought down by number 28, Colin Douglas, and number 40, Jaron Williams, picking up the first down, Ross.
Yeah, he's going to be somebody you're going to hear from a lot on the defensive side, but taking advantage of the size there.
9:34 to go here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the Panther 33-yard line. And Brisbane in the shotgun formation, far hash mark, looking to his left. And that's going to be in and out of the hands of number 10, Jeremiah Jackson. And that's going to stop the clock at 9:23, bring up second down and 10 for the Tigers.
Panthers ready to move in there. I think he may have heard some footsteps. Cade Jordan right there. He's in coverage.
Footsteps indeed. Brisbane coming back from the sideline, getting instruction from his head coach, offensive coordinator. And the Tigers really on a tear this year, leading 9-4A currently. Brisbane in the shotgun with number 13. Going to feed the ball to 13 over the left-hand side, still on his feet, and finally getting pulled down by Colin Douglas again. Trey Kibbles with the carry. Going to pick up about 5 or, well, actually no more than that. Going to pick up about 8 on that carry. Bring up third down and a long 2 for Silsbee as they've worked their way down to the Panther 26-yard line. Again, far hash mark, under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 9-4A action between your Liberty Panthers and the Silsbee Tigers. Brisbane with an I form behind him, tight end to his right, and going to hand the ball to number 1, Miller, out of the backfield, and he's not going to pick up a bunch, and he's going to get scooted out of bounds, and it looks as though Tony Denman leading the charge for the Panthers on that side, Ross.
Landon Curry also crashing in from the corner position to cut off a lane.
That's going to move the ball to the Panther 25-yard line. Pick up 4th and short for Silsbee, and they will go for it. Brisbane under center. Again, I form, and he's going to have double tight ends. And 40 again, Williams coming through the left-hand side. Gets pulled down by number 72, Victor Ruiz. And he is not going to have enough for the first down. And the Panther defense holds, Ross.
Seen it all year long, and that is they bend, but they don't break. When it matters, they are able to make that stand, and that is huge as Silsbee was moving that ball down the field with ease. And then this last set of downs, that Panther defense stiffened their upper lip.
I'm going to be honest, Ross, I was expecting them to target Miller a little more than they have so far. and I'm sure that tune will change. Gavin Fontenot and company on the field offensively for the Panthers. Fontenot in the shotgun by himself. Zach Breaux coming across, getting the edge, and lowering his shoulder, still on his feet, getting up to the 30-yard line before getting pulled down by a host of Tigers, and a big first down pickup for the junior.
Good job by Breaux there. He got the ball. He held up for just a minute to let his hole open and get through there, and very promising start for Liberty.
Second down and 3 for Liberty. Breaux moving out to the right-hand side. Bankhead, Wilkinson, and Victorian on the left, with Manny Freeman in the slot position. Gavin Fontenot working to his right and releases the ball. It's going to be just over the outstretched hands of Zach Breaux, and that's going to stop the clock at 7:49 and bring up 3rd and 3 for the Panthers.
Blitzing there by Silsbee got right in the face of Gavin Fontenot, forcing a throw that was a little too high. It was almost a get out of my hand throw. Panthers trying to get something going offensively to keep their defense off the field. This time Victorian in the backfield with Fontenot. Fontenot rolling to his right, quickly throwing the ball. It's going to be just at the feet of number 24, Manny Freeman. Not able to come up with that. That's going to bring up 4th down, and presumably the Panthers, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're sitting on their punt team, Ross. Jonah Brown for Silsbee actually had the inside track to that ball. Manny Freeman coming in and preventing an interception, breaking that pass up.
And back deep for the Tigers, number 13, Trey Kibbles. And the Panthers actually trying to pull the wool over the Tigers' eyes, and they went for it. A little trickeration there, and they only picked up a yard, and they did not get it. That's going to be a turnover on downs, and the Tigers are going to have very, very good field position from the Panther 31-yard line.
I like the aggressive play call there by the Panthers.
The Liberty Panthers definitely coming out very aggressive, like we said, playing with house money. And when you're playing a team as highly decorated as this team is, you have to pull out the stops. Brisbane waiting for the call, having doubles to his left, tight end to his right, lone back in the backfield, number 3, Jonah Brown. Brisbane under center, and going to hand the ball off to Brown, who gets upended by number 7, Bo Fowler. Going to pick up a couple on that, and the ball's going to be worked down to the Panther 29-yard line. Going to bring up 2nd down and long.
Bo Fowler all over the field in each of the Panthers games this year, and he makes his presence known early.
We saw this, I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. The Panthers came in and they were heavy underdogs, and they just played the daylights out of Silsbee. And this is shaping up like that so far. Brisbane in the shotgun with number 2 to his left. Number 11 coming across. Brisbane having time to throw, taking a shot at the end zone, and that's going to go nowhere. And that's going to stop the clock at 6:57 in the first quarter. 3rd down and long for the Tigers. So far, so good for the Panther defense, Ross.
Dawson Victorian and Colin Douglas there with tight coverage. And the Panthers were able to get some pressure on Brisbane and forced him to make that throw.
Brisbane highly decorated himself and being recruited, I think, pretty heavily right now. Has some pretty good stats, and we'll talk about those as the game progresses. Having a tight trips to his left and swinging out to number 2 out of the backfield, and finally being wrestled to the ground by not sure if that was Caden Jordan over there that pulled him down finally, and that's going to move the sticks for the Tigers. Oh, nope. We have a man down on the field. Okay, there's an injured Tiger, and while they're... No, that's an injured Panther. Well, it's an injured cat. Well, at any rate, as they tend to that injured young man, the Tigers get the first down. They will have 1st and 10 from the Panther 20-yard line. And so far, we've seen very aggressive play calling from the Panther staff, Ross. And I'm here for that. I'm loving it.
When you are playing a team like Silsbee, you do have to try and take chances that you might not make with other teams. And
well, you see, they came out. They attempted the onside kick to begin the game. They ran a fake punt, and well, they're not taking any chances. That's number 12, Peyton Frege, making his way, and he looks to be okay as he's walking off the field under his own power.
First and 10 Tigers on the Panther 20.
And now the Tigers offense back out onto the field after that. Brisbane again in the shotgun with number 13 Kibbles to his right. Going to hand the ball off to Kibbles, coming over the left-hand side, and going to be wrestled out of bounds by number 2, Dawson Victorian.
Victor Ruiz also coming to the scene on that tackle. He was able to get around the corner, and they prevented a larger run there as Dawson held on. And
that's going to be a 6-yard pickup from Kibbles to bring up 2nd down and 4 from the Panther 14-yard line, far hash mark. 6:32 and counting here in the first quarter. So far, it's all knotted up at 0. Brisbane under center and rolling to his left, firing to number 40, Williams. And he is going to break the plane and knock over the pylon. And the Tigers at the 6:26 mark on the pass from Brisbane to Williams, finding the scoreboard, Ross.
And on that play, Miller was open. Dawson Victorian slipping on the turf, and he was open just in front of the end zone, but the decision had already been made to fire to Williams.
Jaron Williams, number 40, 6'2", 190-pound senior. He's a big load over there. And now coming on, Arsenault with the extra point attempt. It is good at the 6:26 mark. The Silsbee Tigers 7, your Liberty Panthers 0. Ross?
There is a flag on the field, multiple flags, but it looks like it's going to be off against Liberty for offsides.
And while they're taking a gander at that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You were watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Robbins, Ross Knoll, producer Richard Ewing. At the 6:26 mark, the Silsbee Tigers strike first. Mason Brisbane to number 40, Jaron Williams on the left-hand side. Arsenault kicking the extra point. And now the Liberty Panthers deep for their own kickoff return. Back deep for the Panthers, number 9 and number 2, Bro and Victorian. Make sure my eyes are good, Ross. And Arsenault getting set to kick off for the Silsbee Tigers. And we'll see what kind of magic the Panther offense can make on take number 2. And that's going to be high and deep. And it's going to be not fielded cleanly by Victorian, who's dancing at his own 10, trying to break some tackles, still on his feet, and getting wrestled down at the 15-yard line or so. They're going to give him the 14-yard line, and that's where the Panthers are going to start drive number 2 from their own 14-yard line.
Ball went a little deeper than they anticipated. He tried to catch that with his back to the ball and never could quite get the grip on it, but a good recovery by Victorian not to panic, and he did end up getting the ball out.
Panther offense led by senior quarterback Gavin Fontenot breaking the huddle. Lincoln Hankey, the offensive coordinator, giving some words of wisdom before they step out there. And in the backfield with Fontenot is going to be number 2, Victorian. And we're going to get some movement, and there's a flag on the field. That's going to be false start against the Panthers. That's going to push it back 5, and we'll try that again. Ross?
I want to say for Gavin, 60 of 140 this year, 826 yards. He's averaging 118 yards per game passing. He has 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's been sacked 3 times. He also leads the Panthers in rushing with 102 carries for 401 yards, 5 touchdowns, his 40 yards the longest.
Fontenot waiting the snap and rolling to his right and firing, and it's going to be in the turf, headed toward Nathaniel Wilkinson, and good defensive coverage from the Tigers.
Wilkinson slipping a little bit there as he was going down, maybe a little bit of contact from the defensive back, not enough to call pass interference, but just enough to throw him off a bit.
2nd down and 15 for the Panthers from their own 9-yard line near hash mark. Panthers working right to left, west to east. If you're listening and not watching, Gavin Fontenot breaking the huddle. And this time standing on his own 4-yard line. The snap is away. Fontenot having to roll out to his right, trying to find some running room, and getting pulled down by number 8, Tadavian Garrett, and going to pick up a couple on that.
Yeah, he had on his blind sign Ryan Drake, a defensive lineman, absolutely in pursuit.
Actually, he picked up more than a couple. He almost picked up 10 on that. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 7 for the Panthers. 5:41 and counting here in the first quarter. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-0, but coming out with all the swagger that you could expect them to come out with such a big win last Friday, Ross.
Look for Zach Bro to be the target on this one, leading receiver on the team.
And number 4, Bankhead with the catch, coming across with that soft slant, and that's going to be enough for the first down, and we have not heard Bankhead's name called in some time.
Well, of course, he targets him after I said watch for the other one, but that's his 3rd reception on the year. He has, coming into the game, 2 receptions at 14 yards.
1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 29-yard line, their first down of the contest. And signs of life for the Liberty Panther offense. Fontenot moving Victorian to his right, calling his own number and trying to find a hole, not able to do so, and going to get pulled down by a couple of Tigers, number 40, Williams, and Fontenot slow to get up. May have, hopefully that's just the wind that got knocked out of his breath. And no, he stands up now, so that's a good sign. But they're going to continue to talk to him, Ross.
Offensive lineman Cody Broom and Josiah Slack trying to make some room for him there. Let him get a little bit more yardage.
4:43 to go here in the first quarter. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-0 and getting something going. And Fontenot going to step back into the, no, he can't step back into the huddle unless they call a timeout, which they're not going to do. So he's going to step off the field, at least for this play. And I would guess that Zach Bro is probably going to step in, as he is listed as the backup quarterback. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Junior Zach Bro going to take the reins, at least for a play. Panthers 2nd down and 11. And Freeman in motion. And Bro going to keep the ball himself, rolling to the right, trying to find some running room, catches the corner, and going to get pushed out by number 27. And that's Pablo Lorenzi, and Bro going to pick up about 3 or 4 on the carry, Ross.
Dawson Victorian with a great block there on the far side that allowed him to keep moving.
Going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Panthers from their own 30, I'm going to call that 30 plus. It's not quite on the 31-yard line, far hash mark. But most importantly, the longer this offense can stay on here, that's the less time that vaunted Tiger offense has on the field. And this time, Gavin Fontenot back on the field in the shotgun. Number 2, Victorian back there with him. And we're going to get a timeout from Liberty, and we're going to take one with them. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 4:28 to go here in the first quarter. Panthers trailing 7-0. And in the middle of their second drive, third down and long, Gavin Fontenot in the shotgun. Panthers on their own 31-yard line. And this time looking to his left and just over the hands of Nathaniel Wilkinson, and that's going to stop the clock at 4:23 and bring up 4th and long for the Panthers, and they're going to send on the punting unit led by number 30, Diego Diaz-Ramirez.
Jonah Brown, a defensive back for Silsbee, with the coverage there on Wilkinson. Led him just a little bit too far.
Number 1, Draylon Miller, and number 13, Trey Kibbles back deep for the Tigers. Last time they ran a fake punt. We'll see if they actually punt this time. And Diego fields it cleanly. A nice punt from the freshman. It's going to hit and take a Panther bounce. And it's going to roll and finally get down by Tony Denman at the 37-yard line. And so that was a nice bit of pressure release from the punt team, Ross.
Diego Diaz-Ramirez has done a fantastic job all year, not only kicking the ball off, but as you saw, punting. He's had some boomers.
Tigers going to have the ball from their own 37-yard line near hash mark. The Tigers working left to right. Mason Brisbane, the quarterback for Silsbee. And he's been going back and forth between under center and in shotgun. This time he's in the shotgun with number 3 to his right. And he's going to fire quickly to the left at number 16. And Tony Denman going to pull him down very quickly. Radrian ball trip with the reception. And he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
They're going to give him 2 there.
Okay.
Little delay.
Yeah, the line judge on this side was a little slow moving up. So all of that for 2 yards, second down and 8, 3:47 and counting here in the first quarter. Still on the far hash mark. The Tigers breaking the huddle again. And this time in the I formation. Brisbane under center. Going to his left. Number 3 with the ball, still on his feet. And going to get pulled down by number 12, Peyton Frege. And going to pick up a big chunk of yards there. That's going to get up to the 45-yard line. Going to have third down and about 2 for the Tigers. And so far, we've seen... I really wasn't expecting this sort of offense from the Tigers, Ross.
Well, they like to be able to mix it up and take some pressure, as Victorian has got Miller in coverage.
Number 2 with the carry coming over the left-hand side, and that's Kevin Martin. He's going to pick up enough for the first down, and they're going to get into Panther territory, Ross. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to give that to you, Ross. I'll keep it with myself. That's going to be down to the Panther 48-yard line, far hash mark, 1st and 10 for Silsbee. About 2:45 to go here in the first quarter. Brisbane staying under center in the I formation with Kibbles deep. And going to hand the ball off to Kibbles, and he's going to be grabbed by Victor Ruiz and going to get out and then finally get pulled down by Colton Bishop and Tony Denman. And going to pick up a couple of yards on that carry. Second down and 8 as the ball is pushed down to the Panther 46-yard line, now on the near hash mark. 2:17 to go here in the first quarter, Ross.
This success they've had in the running game to start this game, let me say game 3 more times, really makes it difficult for the Panthers because they cannot stuff the box as they can against a lot of other teams.
Brisbane under center again. And going to look quickly over the middle. Miller targeted, catches, and a bevy of Panthers led by number 2 Dawson Victorian and Bo Fowler along with Zach Bro pulling him out. And there's a flag on the play, and that's probably going to be a personal foul as there were some extracurricular after the fact out of bounds.
Yes, it is going to be a personal foul against Liberty. That hit coming after he had gotten out. There was a little space between Dawson and Miller, and that allowed Miller to make that catch and wheel around.
Well, Miller's too good. You can't give him extra. He's going to get what he's going to get on his own.
It's difficult for the Panthers. It would be one thing if he was the playmaker, and he is a playmaker, but Silsbee has so many weapons that you can't just concentrate on him.
Well, that monster penalty is going to push the ball all the way down to the Panther 20-yard line and give them a first down and 10. Brisbane breaking the huddle again. He's going to stay under center in this I formation with number 3, Brown, deep. And Brown's going to take the ball over the right-hand side, and he's going to walk into the end zone at the 144 mark. Silsbee striking again, and now leading 13-0. No flags on the play, and this is something that you sort of expect to happen after a big penalty. You got to have your head on a swivel, Ross.
You do, and on that play, Xander Horton, an offensive lineman for Silsbee, was able to contain Bo Fowler.
Arsenault, the kick is up and good, and we have another flag on that, and that was thrown pretty quickly. That's probably going to be offsides against the Panthers, and that's going to be declined at the 144 mark. The Silsbee Tigers 14, your Liberty Panthers 0. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 1:44 to go in the first quarter, and the Silsbee Tigers striking again. Number 3, Jonah Brown, with the long touchdown run to score.
Colby Arsenault, the kicker for Silsbee, is ranked 24th in the state of Texas across all levels in kickoff yardage.
Number 9, Zach Breaux. Number 2, Dawson Victorian, deep for the Panthers. Arsenault set to kick the ball off for Silsbee, and he's had a bunch of practice. And it's going to be high and deep again, and that's going to get out of bounds. Actually, oh, there it goes. Now that hit and stuck at the 13-yard line, and it looked like it was going to go out, and then finally it went out. That could have been disastrous.
Well, it was as if you were hitting a 60-degree sand wedge into a very soft green, and it danced a little bit, and Dawson had to jump back and say, wait a minute, but he was able to wait long enough to let it bounce out.
Well, I have not seen that before. That was, I almost had to eat my words there.
Well, on the kicks from Arsenault tonight, they have all been to the near side, very close to the sideline. That one a little shorter than his previous kick.
Well, going out of bounds, that's going to give the Panthers a much better position. They're going to start on their own 30-yard line, and they have done some really good things so far, and just a play or two away from getting something open. Momentum, I wouldn't say momentum has swung one way or the other. It's just been a sort of a steady go so far. Fontenot in the shotgun for the Panthers. Wilkinson coming across, and Fontenot trying to get outside and going to get chased out of bounds by number 7, Kai Elder, and that's going to be a loss on the play, I think, depending on where they give him a spot.
Well, that was very interesting. You saw the personal foul just a minute ago against Liberty, and that one was dangerously close. The tackle came on the white.
Yeah, that was very close on that far sideline. That is going to be a loss of 1. Going to bring up 2nd down and 11 as the ball spotted at the Panther 29-yard line, far hash mark. 1:36 to go here in the first quarter.
They were thinking run there and loaded the box, dropping only 2 back.
Victorian moving to the right. Fontenot scanning and tucking the ball this time and running. There's a flag on the play, and Fontenot's going to get pulled down, but that flag is probably going to be a hold.
Yeah, offensive lineman Cody Broom kind of upending that defensive lineman.
Well, and I'm not sure if they're going to see if they accept this. And they are going to accept this. That's going to push the ball back. They're going to replay the down. So that's the good part, is they get a new crack at second down. The bad part is they're going to be significantly further away from the goal. It's going to push the ball back to the Panther 19-yard line and bring up second down and 21 for the Panthers. Fontenot again in the shotgun. Victorian to his left. Wilkinson, Bankhead to his left. And Bro by himself on the right. Snap is good. And Wilkinson, good reception at the 25, still on his feet, getting up to the 30-yard line, getting pulled down by number 40, Jaron Williams. And as sure-handed as he's been most of these last couple of games, he did it again there. Big pickup from Wilkinson.
Williams there was a little deked out, if you will, as he had to come back. He had come in, and then, well, that was what would happen if he had to come back. Let me state the obvious.
Under 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Panthers back at the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10 from their own 30-yard line. This time, trips to the right for Fontenot, and Victorian rolling to his right. And it's going to be in and out of his hands, and that's going to stop the clock at 27 seconds and bring up 4th down and 10 for the Panthers.
Linebacker Jaquaz Carter was right there in the face of Victorian on that swing pass.
Back deep again, Kibbles, and it looks like Miller. That's right, Miller and Kibbles back deep for the Panthers. Diego Diaz-Ramirez set to punt for Liberty. Another good snap to him. And that ball is high. Good spiral. And that's going to hit at the 30 and finally go out of bounds at the Tiger 27-yard line. And another fine punt from the freshman.
Something you've come to expect from this Diego Diaz-Ramirez, the freshman. I was going to say the freshman, you had just said it.
1st and 10 for Silsbee with 19 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And it seems like we've been playing this first quarter for a long time, Ross.
Yeah, it's
just 10 after 8, and we started at 7:30. This has been a long quarter.
It seems like it's been about 4 hours.
Liberty Panthers defensively, Cade Jordan, Court Carter, Victor Ruiz, Colton Bishop on that D-line, trying to put some pressure on Brisbane, the quarterback. And looking deep and going to throw to number 16, Radrian Baltrip, and he's not going to be able to handle that.
He got a couple of steps on Zach Bro, but that throw just, he got a little ahead of it.
A little ahead of it. That's going to stop the clock at 12 seconds. 2nd and 10 for Silsbee again from their own 27-yard line, near hash mark for the Tigers. And it's 14-0, Ross, but this has been this is a close 14-0 game.
Well, I think some of it has the aggressiveness of the Panthers in some of their calls.
Brisbane looking left, firing immediately to Miller, who's still on his feet and going up the sideline and getting pushed out of bounds by number 9, Zach Bro, but that was a big gainer all the way up to the 50-yard line.
Andrew LeBlanc for Silsbee with a big block, came out there, created a little bit of a shield for Miller until Miller outran him.
That's going to do it for the first quarter. After 1 in Silsbee, Texas, your Liberty Panthers trailing the Tigers 14-0. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. After 1 quarter here in Silsbee, Texas, your Liberty Panthers trailing 14-0, but they are playing very, very aggressively, and through their aggressiveness, keeping this game manageable, Ross.
Miller with that play. I want to also touch on the fact that he is the team's leading rusher with 18 carries and 259 yards on the year with 3 touchdowns.
That pass was from the 27-yard line, and he caught it at about the 29 and got all the way up to the 50, so that was about 31 yards?
Yeah, he's averaging 28.8 on each pass.
And we got a double little reverse there. Miller coming back across to the right, trying to stiff arm Denman. Still on his feet, somehow escapes the pack. And still dragging number 72, Victor Ruiz. And man, what a play from Miller.
I thought he had made a mistake there. Brisbane had a running lane for him. He decided to bounce out to the outside. He was able to overcome that.
Ball on the Panther 22-yard line, and he's establishing very quickly the reason that he's one of the most highly rated receivers in the state of Texas. Brisbane under center. Rolling to his right, going to give the ball off to number 2, who finds a hole, and he is going to go in untouched for the touchdown. Kevin Martin scoring for Silsbee at the 11:26 mark. The Silsbee Tigers 20, your Liberty Panthers 0. And we saw this previously after a big penalty or a big play, the Tigers coming out looking for blood and striking big. Arsenault on for the extra point. So far he's been 2 for 2, and that's going to be 3 for 3. 11:26, Silsbee 21, Liberty Panthers 0. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 11:26 to go here in the second quarter. Panthers trailing 21-0. We just saw the last commercial alluding again to the Panther cross-country teams. Congratulations to those squads. Heading to the regional championships on Monday, October 24th. Boys running at 8:45, girls running at 8:15 at Kate Bar Ross Park in Huntsville, Texas. Arsenault kicking the ball off, and that's going to be high and fielded by Victorian. And working to his left, coming back up the sideline at the 30, and going to get across the 30. Oh, no, that's number 9, Bro. Excuse me. The one time I pulled my binoculars away and I missed the 2 for the 9, Zach Bro with the return. And the Panthers going to start their drive on their own 31-yard line, far hash mark. Oh, you know, they're going to give him the 30. From this angle, it looked like the line judge was on the 31. Oh,
nope,
now they've moved it up. Okay.
Don't doubt yourself, Joe.
I'm blind, but I guess I'm not that blind. Don't tell my wife, though.
Yeah, I always feel comfort when somebody driving me says they're blind.
Well, you know what they say. I don't know what they say.
Can't see the road.
Gavin Fontenot in the shotgun for the Panther offense. This time Bro coming behind him. And Fontenot going to keep it and going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And a lot of movement and not much forward progress there. Coming up second down and 10. They move from the far hash to the near hash. Under 11 minutes to go here at Tiger Stadium in Silsbee, Texas. 9-4A action.
Victorian blocking for Fontenot on that play had opened up some room, but that blindside hit snuffed that out.
Victorian taking the ball and getting slung to the ground and loses the ball, but able to get back onto it. And that's going to be a big loss, close to 10 yards, depending on where they spot this. They're going to give it a 9-yard loss. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 19. Ball back on the Panther 21-yard line. The Tiger defense sniffing that play out very quickly.
Pablo Lorenzi, excuse me, I added an N. I like to do that.
Fontenot working to his right and keeping the ball, tucking it, and getting pulled down by number 78, Caden Smart. And that's going to get up to the 34-yard line, Ross.
Victorian doing a good job there, making contact with the offensive lineman who was closest to Fontenot, throwing him off just a little bit to allow him a little more time on the ground.
Bring up 4th down and 7 for the Panthers from their own 34-yard line near hash mark. 9:43 and counting. Diego Diaz on again to punt for the Panthers. And another nice punt. That's going to hit at the 36 and continue to roll for the Panthers. Going to take a very large Panther roll all the way down to the Tiger 20-yard line. And that's going to give a bit of a cushion for the Panther defense, Ross.
Another nice punt for the freshman there. I know I say that. It sounds like a broken record again.
Well, when that's what they're doing, that's what you're saying, Ross. You're doing your job, buddy. 1st and 10 for the Silsbee Tigers. Scoring on their last couple of possessions.
32 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second. Oh, wait, no, that's 9 minutes and 25 seconds.
It feels like that much. Brisbane under center again in I formation behind him. And there was an exchange problem, and it looks like Victor Ruiz comes up with the ball, and that's going to be what happens. The Panther defense coming up big, exchange problems, and maybe just what the doctor ordered, Ross.
Another turnover for the Panther defense. You've seen that throughout the year, being able to take advantage of opportunities that are presented, and that is huge.
Very huge, and that's going to give the Liberty Panther offense very, as you say, optimal field position. They're going to start on the Tiger 19-yard line, and this is the first time I think they've been inside the 20.
That is correct.
Gavin Fontenot with Dawson Victorian to his left, and going to keep the ball himself and get pulled down by number 32, Jaquez Carter. And going to lose a yard on that. It's going to be 2nd and 11 for the Panthers.
They were trying to get them to bite on Victorian there, running in the opposite direction.
And going to send him in motion again. Fontenot looking, going to throw the ball into the corner. All by himself, Nathaniel Wilkinson. Touchdown, Panthers. At the 8:48 mark, finally the Liberty Panther offense getting on the scoreboard. And boy, was he all alone, Ross.
Incredible.
And we'll take a look at the maybe we'll take a look at the replay.
Had to do a barrel roll to keep possession of that one in the corner of the end zone.
And it looks as though the Panthers are going to go for 2 here. Oh, no, they're going to swing that gate back closed. Bro for the hold, Diego Diaz for the kick. It's going to be up, and it's going to be blocked. And number 3, Jonah Brown getting a hand on it, and that's going to kill the extra point attempt. At the 8:48 mark, your Liberty Panthers with a Gavin Fontenot to Nathaniel Wilkinson touchdown pass, 6, Silsbee 21. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Coming into the replay, and I think we just sort of saw Wilkinson with that touchdown catch, and here it is. Fontenot looking. No, that's the instant. That's the extra point there. We're still working out that replay function. At the 8:48 mark, Gavin Fontenot finding Nathaniel Wilkinson on the right-hand side of the end zone all by himself for the touchdown, and the extra point being blocked. The Panthers trailing 21-6. Diego Diaz going to be kicking off for the Panthers. Oh, now we have the replay. And look at him. He gets right in behind that defender. No one going with him, and he could have bought some cotton candy back there, Ross.
It's another incredible catch from Wilkinson, which we've become used to.
And Diego going to kick that ball out of bounds. And to be honest with you, keeping it away from the dangerous return man, not a bad idea. The the Tiger offense, rather, going to be getting the ball. Well, they may want him to kick that again.
They are going to do a re-kick just 5 yards in front of. Behind, excuse me. You wouldn't go.
Front.
Yeah, there
Direction.
we go.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, definitely not me.
They're going to try that again. They're going to send Diego back on to kick for the Panthers. And Silsbee wanting to try that again. So Liberty going to be kicking off from their own 35 now instead of the 40, Ross.
Silsbee has one return kick, but that came from Draylon Miller.
Yeah, he's Mr. Do-It-All for the Tigers.
The Swiss Army knife.
Diego Diaz, the freshman phenom, kicking for the Liberty Panthers. Kicked it out of bounds, and Silsbee deciding they wanted to try that again. And here we go. The kick is going to be high, and it's going to get deep left. Fielded at the 9-yard line, and they're going to run to the right, still on his feet. And a good return from number 16, Radrian Baltrip, but there is a flag on the field, and that may be against the Tigers, Ross.
It is going to be against the Tigers. I didn't think it was going to be against the Panthers. He got tripped up with one of his players. I bet it's going to be a block in the back.
I would imagine so. There was an awfully big hole on that right-hand side, and a lot of times that indicates that there's going to be some kind of block or hold, and it's going to be a block in the back, confirmed from the white hat, and it's going to push the ball back to the Tiger 30-yard line, far hash mark, and all of that, much ado about nothing. They could have just taken the result of the last kickoff and been in the exact same position. 8:38 to go here in the second quarter. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 21-6. Brisbane in the shotgun formation. And going to hand the ball off to number 13, Kibbles. And a host of Panther defenders wrapping him up, led by number 25, Colton Bishop, and 27, Cade Jordan, Ross.
On that last drive, turning the ball over, only their 8th of the season.
It's a pretty good stat. Second down and long for the Tigers from their own 33-yard line. Break the huddle. Doubles to the left for Brisbane. A single receiver to the right. And gonna fake the handoff. Miller across the middle, and he is off to the races. And he's going to score from 33-yard line, so that's going to be almost a 73-yard touchdown reception.
Caden Jones there with the initial cut was initially on Miller, and then they switched off, and there was a cross in communication there that allowed Miller to get over the middle.
And just like he's done all season long, as soon as the ball gets in his hands, he becomes electric, Ross, and he was exactly electric there. Arsenault on for the extra point, and it's going to be up and through the uprights at the 7:51 mark of the second quarter. Silsbee 28, your Liberty Panthers 6. We'll be right back. back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. At the 7:51 mark of the second quarter, Draylon Miller with the exceptionally long touchdown reception, 70-plus yards on that, scoring for the Silsbee Tigers. And as it stands, your Liberty Panthers trailing 28-6. Arsenault getting set to kick the ball off for the Tigers. And let me use my binoculars this time instead of just guessing. Zach Breaux and Dawson Victorian back deep for the Panthers. And it's going to be a low liner, and that's going to be jumped on by Breaux. And he's going to fall on the ball at the, looks like the Panther 22-yard line, Ross?
Ball backed up a little bit. Breaux was waiting for the hop and had to come in at the last minute and jump on it because it was a live football.
I tell you, I want to comment, it's exceptionally quiet in the stadium, Ross. You would think it'd be a little louder here. The Silsbee stands aren't as full as I would think for a team of their caliber.
No, it's great weather too, so
yeah,
that can't be a factor.
It's a beautiful night. There must be something going on. Fontenot pitches the ball to Victorian, and he gets bent back a little bit. Number 32 with the stop for the Tigers, Jaquez Carter, and that's going to lose about 4. Second down and 14. Ball pushed back to the Panther 19-yard line. 7:25 and counting here in the second quarter. Panthers scoring on their last possession and trying to do so again this time. Fontenot looking over the middle. Number 9, Breaux. It's in and out of his hands. Not able to hang on to it. And that's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Panthers. Going to stop the clock at the 7:08 mark in the second quarter, Ross.
Kevin Martin with the coverage there, and he is the one that actually forced that ball loose out of Breaux's hands. He had it, but it was knocked out before possession was had.
3rd down, and they're going to call it 13 for the Liberty Panthers from their own 19-yard line near hash mark. Panthers working left to right, east to west. Fontenot moving Victorian to his right. And dropping, rolling to his right, and finding nothing, and going to get pulled down by number 27. He's going to throw the ball out. And I don't see a flag, so I guess he got it beyond the line of scrimmage, so they're not going to get him for grounding there. So that was a good heads-up play because he was imminently about to be sacked. That's going to bring up 4th and 13 for the Panthers, and the punting unit's going to come on the field at the 6:59 mark, Ross.
Good snap imperative here as they are pinned back.
Back deep, Miller and Kibbles standing at their 50 or at the 50-yard line. Diaz getting the ball off. It's going to hit and going to be touched at the 48-yard line by the Panthers.
Almost a block there by Silsbee.
This would be a pretty good punt from Diego Diaz. He had to get that away quickly. It wasn't that beautiful spiral that we're used to seeing, but it was very powerful. And the Panther defenders getting down there quickly. Silsbee taking over at their own 48-yard line at the 6:51 mark of the second quarter. Coming on offensively for the Tigers. And we'll see Brisbane in the shotgun. Trips to his right, going to roll to his right and toss quickly to number 14. And that is Max Brisbane making the reception. And I'm not sure, are they cousins or twins?
Twins.
Twins, okay.
Both seniors.
Both seniors. So twin-to-twin connection. Shellhammer, the Panther defender, Aaron Shellhammer, pushing him out after a couple of yard pickup. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Tigers as they have moved into Panther territory at the 49-yard line. Brisbane again, high snap, pulls it down, hands it to number 3. The right-hand side, and still on his feet, finally getting crushed down by Cord Carter. There is a penalty marker on the field, Ross.
That was Cade Jordan was being held there. You couldn't have, he needs to check his pants there. He may have lost his wallet.
Well, that is good for the Panthers. The holding call is going to push the big game, the first down game, back into Tiger territory, and they're going to replay second down from their own 43-yard line, or 43 plus, we'll call that. Far hash mark. 6:03 and counting here in the second quarter. Doubles to the right and left for Brisbane. Coming across, number 11, and they're going to throw the ball out to him, and that's going to be just beyond his fingertips. Ashton Cartwright not able to come up with that. That's going to stop the clock at 5:48 and bring up 3rd and long for the Tigers.
Second most receiving yards for Silsbee is Cartwright, but you can't catch them when they're that far in front of you.
You cannot. And if I were being honest, I would say I hope he throws a whole bunch more of those. 3rd down and long for the Tigers. And Brisbane again, shotgun formation, trips to his right, single receiver to his left, and going to throw the ball. This time Cartwright comes up with it, still dancing, and Landon Curry going to clean him up after Caden Jones holds him. And going to be a nice little pickup for Cartwright back into Panther territory at the 48, but it's going to bring up 4th and about 6 for the Tigers.
Holding penalty backing them up there, and that really hurts Silsbee, but they are in the alumni zone.
Now I'm wondering, this is a different sort of position that they're used to being in. They've got a 4th and not a short. They're about midfield. I'm wondering if they're going to punt or they'll go for this.
They're going to call a timeout.
They're going to call a timeout, and we're going to take one with them. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, Panther Nation. 5:05 to go here in the second quarter. The Silsbee Tigers facing a 4th and 6 from the Panther 48-yard line. Had to take a timeout to think about it. We just come out of the commercial break, Ross. The Houston Astros, the American League West champions, featured on that last commercial break. And in the middle of the division series right now against the Seattle Mariners with a commanding 2-0 lead, Yordan Alvarez with theatrical magic the last 2 games, Ross.
Yordan showing. Oh, is my mic on?
Yeah, you're on. You're on.
All right. Well, pull you up right there. Oh, it's my ears.
Yeah, your ears.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Well, they are going to go for it. And number 2 with the ball, and he's still on his feet, and he is going to pick up enough for the first down. Kevin Martin going to the right, and the Tigers, I guess they talked about it correctly.
Well, you're in that position where you're too long for a field goal and too short for a punt.
They were going to have a 1st and 10 from the Panther 37-yard line, far hash mark, 4:41 and counting here in the second quarter. Silsbee leading the Panthers 28-6 in this 9-4A contest. Brisbane under center this time, and going to hand the ball off to Kibbles, left-hand side, still on his feet. Landon Curry, and then Zach Rowe coming up to clean him up after a pickup of about 7. Bring up 2nd down and 3 from the Panther 30-yard line. And as we were just alluding to it, Ross, Houston Astros, middle of that division series, picking up Game 3 tomorrow in Seattle. The first time Seattle has hosted a home playoff game in 2 decades.
21 years to be the first one at Safeco Field.
And number 3 still on his feet, cutting back to the right, finding a bunch of green turf, still moving, and there's some flags on the field. Finally getting pulled down at the 2-yard line, but I suspect that's going to move backwards.
Yeah, that was a block in the back, I assume, against Silsbee because they pushed Jones down.
Jonah Brown with the big carry was bottled up going to the left and cut it back, and there were no Panther defenders on the right-hand side of the field.
Well, that happens when you shove them down.
Yeah, that is oh so true.
10 yards stepped off.
And they're going to pull that back. And that's going to give them a 2nd down and 1 after that hold call. And they're going to have the ball on the Panther 28-yard line, far hash mark. 2nd down and 1, 3:26 in the second quarter. Brisbane under center and going to hand the ball off again to number 3, Cord Carter, in there immediately with a tackle, but I'm not sure if he picked that up or not.
I don't think so. He hit Cord pretty hard, but Cord did not move and kept a tight grip on him.
No, he's a young man that you're probably not going to move too often if you're going one-on-one against him. He's not a small person, but now after they look at it, they are going to give him the first down. They do pick up just enough for the first down. Ball going to be on the Panther 27-yard line, far hash mark, under 3 minutes to go here at Tiger Stadium in Silsbee, Texas. Brisbane back in the shotgun, going to hand the ball off to number 2, trying to dance around, and Aaron Shellhammer and company hanging on, and the pile still moving forward. Credit to that Tiger offensive line for shoving the scrum forward. Kevin Martin staying on his feet and going to turn nothing into a 5-yard pickup, Ross.
So wide receiver Ashton Cartwright comes in right at the end, right before the whistle blows, and jumps on top of the pile. I'm not real sure what the benefit for Silsbee was there.
The ball on the Panther 22-yard line, far hash mark. Brisbane going to fake the handoff, going to go to the end zone deep and right into the hands of Draylon Miller. Touchdown for Silsbee, and you draw it that way up on the whiteboard, and that's what it looks like when it's run to perfection.
Caden Jones had the coverage, but Miller's speed, he was able to get a couple of steps on him, and that was the result.
22-yard touchdown pass from Brisbane to Miller at the 1:59 mark in the second quarter, and Silsbee waiting on the Arsenault extra point. It is up. It is good. 1:59 to go in the second quarter. Silsbee 35, Liberty Panthers 6. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 1:59 to go here in the second quarter. Mason Brisbane to Draylon Miller, 22-yard strike to the left-hand corner, and Silsbee leading 35-6. Arsenault on to kick off for the Tigers. Zach Bro and Dawson Victorian deep for the Panthers. It's kind of eerie how quiet it is.
It's very
here.
quiet.
That's going to be a high kick. Fielded cleanly at the 15. Bro still nice elusive run right there on the 30. Still on his feet and runs over a Tiger defender. Bro getting all the way up to the Panther 38-yard line. That was a nice return.
Very good return by Bro. Good job by the return team to not commit any penalties. There were some good blocks there. Looks like Jacoba Freejay getting a little banged up there as he was able to sacrifice his body there to get Bro a little more room.
1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 38-yard line near hash mark. 1:49 to go here in the second quarter. Doubles to the left and right for Fontenot. And Victorian coming out to the right. Fontenot firing to the left, and that's going to be picked off by number 1, Draylon Miller, but okay, I thought there was a flag on the play. Draylon Miller getting it done on both sides of the ball, just had a touchdown reception and then picks off Fontenot at the 1:42 mark. The Tigers are going to take back over from their own 34-yard line, Ross.
He had to throw off his back foot. Ryan Drake, a defensive lineman for Silsbee, was right there about to take him down. He threw off his back foot, and Miller was able to jump up and grab it. That again, Miller is such an incredible athlete. On that previous touchdown he had, he used the speed. Here he used his jumps.
He used the old jumps. Brisbane in the shotgun formation. And this time going to hand the ball off to Kibbles, right-hand side, still on his feet, getting pulled down at the 42-yard line. Pulled down by Tony Denman and Cade Jordan, among others. Landon Curry over there, Bo Fowler as well. Be a 7-yard pickup. Move the ball up to the Tiger 41-yard line. This time Brisbane looking over the middle, finding Kibbles and stride, and he is going to waltz into the end zone, and that's going to be another Tiger touchdown at the 107 mark. Brisbane to Kibbles, 41, Panthers 6, and this is not how the Panthers drew this up. So aggressive in the early going. In the last couple of minutes, the wheels have sort of fallen off, Ross.
Very, very difficult for the Panthers there. Cade Jordan almost got to Brisbane.
Arsenault on for the PAT. That's going to be up, and it is going to be good. 107 mark in the second quarter. Liberty 6, Silsbee 42. We'll be right back.
Tigers 42, Panthers 6.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. At the 107 mark of the second quarter, Liberty trailing the Silsbee Tigers 42-6, and Trey Kibbles from the Mason Brisbane pass, long touchdown reception, and Kibbles hardly had to break stride on that one. And the Tigers showcasing one of the reasons that they are one of the top-rated teams in all of Texas, specifically in the East Texas area, Ross.
They're ranked 4th in Division II, which is... I caught myself.
Well, let's just say they're pretty darn good. And Arsenault with a low squibber, and that's going to get fielded by the Panthers. That's number 11. Is that Caden Jones out there? And he's going to bring the ball up to the Panther 35, depending on where they spot him. That may be the 34. Looks like they're going to give him the 35-yard line. Caden Jones with a bit of an injury last week. We didn't hear his name much.
Yeah,
we may not have heard it at all last week.
He was out last week completely. He was in the West Orange Start game.
Panthers trotting their offense back on the field. Under a minute to go here in the second quarter.
2 timeouts remain for the Panthers.
Fontenot waiting for the signal. Victorian in motion. and going to call his own number, getting up the middle, and finally getting pulled down by a host of Tiger defenders, led by number 50, Kyle Walker of the Tiger defenders. Fontenot going to pick up 3 or 4 on that. Ball's going to be on the Panther 39-yard line. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 for Liberty. 30 seconds to go here in the quarter, and they do not look like they're in any sort of hurry to get a playoff, Ross.
Cody Broom and friends opening up that lane for Fontenot that was not there, and they were able to explode it open.
This may be the last play of the half. Manny Freeman in motion for the Panthers. This time the option play to Victorian, and Victorian still on his feet, getting pulled down finally by number 8, Tadavian Garrett. Going to pick up a few yards on that, and that's going to do it for the first half. After a half of play in Tiger Stadium in Silsbee, Texas, your Liberty Panthers 6, Silsbee 42. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Panther Nation. After a half of play, your Liberty Panther football team 6, Silsbee Tigers 42. The Liberty Panther Mighty Panther Band getting set to perform at halftime. And the Panther Band, under the direction of Sean Smith, heading to marching competition tomorrow at P&G. And they'll be performing at 3:05, I believe. And I'm going to be quiet and let you guys enjoy the sounds of the Panther Band and watch the stylings of the LHS Prancers under the direction of Miss Lauren Key. And away we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2022-2023 Liberty High School Prancers drill team. The Prancers are under the direction of Lauren Key, and Emily Edwards is their assistant director. Social officers are Maya Mitchell and Kaylee Payne. Military officers are Lieutenant Melissa Govea, Co-Captain Emily Kane, and Gail Rose. The Prancer of the Week is Emily Kane. The Prancers have chosen Miss Sarah Hessler as their Teacher of the Week. Thank you for all that you do for your students. The Prancers will perform a jazz kick routine to Uma Thurman, performed by the Mighty Panther Band. Good evening, Panther Nation. Tonight, your award-winning Mighty Panther marching band is pleased to present their 2022 halftime show, Princes of the Universe. Featuring music from Queen and Gustav Holst, the Mighty Panther band is under the field directions of drum majors Michaela Farabee and Lexi Chaparro. The section of the week is the percussion section. Program member of the week is Leslie Lule. Featuring soloist Juan Sanchez and Wesley Geekamp on trumpet and Ivan Varela on tenor saxophone. Here is Princes of the Universe. Panther Band is under the direction of Sean Smith and Jackson Parker. The color guard sponsor is Carrie Elliott. The band would like to wish the Silsbee Tiger Band the best at Region Contest tomorrow. We'd like to thank our school board and band boosters for their constant support.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the pride of Silsbee, the Silsbee High School Tigerettes. This is the Tigerettes' 64th year of halftime entertainment. Tonight, they would like to take a moment to thank their sponsors of the week: George Bellinger Waterwell, Viscount Electric, Lux Couture Boutique, Ink Spot. The Tigerettes will take the field to their traditional entrance, Eye of the Tiger. Of the week is Miss Molly McCoy. The Spirit Girl of the week is Miss Emily Nelson. The 2022-23 military officers are Sergeant Zoe Miller, Sergeant Macy Walker, Second Lieutenant Lorelai Marble, First Lieutenant Kimberly Cordero, and the captain of the Silsbee High School Tigerettes is Miss Sydney Rosa Bird. The Tigerettes are under the direction of Miss Lauren Sanguin and Miss Nicole Marble. Tonight, the Tigerettes will be performing to their field streamer routine to Love Runs Out. gentlemen, we are proud to present to you the Silsbee High School Fighting Tiger Band. The Tiger Band is directed by Todd Patterson, Lou Ellis, and Dakota Ard, and is under the field direction of drum majors Faith Whittle, Jonathan Samuel. The Silsbee High School Color Guard is directed by Ms. Case Hillen, and under the field direction of Captain Caitlin Mann and Lieutenant Bailey Walkoff. The Color Guard member of the week is Bailey Walkoff. The band member of the week is Jacob Sterling. The section of the week is the trumpets. We would like to wish the Liberty Band good luck as they perform at the UIL contest tomorrow. Your Tiger Band will perform at the UIL Region 10 marching contest at Fort Nature's Grove High School at 2:30 p.m. and would now like to present their UIL contest show entitled I Believe. Okay, everybody, the moment y'all been waiting for. Get your Operation Split the Pot tickets out. Concession stand. Again, 596-428.
Welcome, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. That's the conclusion of halftime. Your Liberty Panthers taking the field, coming out of the Big Cat Tunnel. Liberty Panthers trailing 42-6, and I know it's going to sound like I'm a Homer Ross and I'm trying to play spin doctor, but really 42-6 isn't indicative of what we've seen for most of the first half. It was only in the last couple of minutes of the second quarter that the score really sort of got out of hand. Liberty Panthers coming out and being aggressive from the get-go, starting with an onside kick attempt to start the game, and then with their first punt, faking the punt and going for it. And Draylon Miller has just really been the difference for the Silsbee Tigers. He is special indeed. He's had multiple catches for lengthy amounts, scores, and he's been an influencer on the offensive and defensive side for Silsbee.
Well, he came in with 750 yards worth of receiving, 10 touchdowns. You expected that from him, that type of performance. And, the Panthers just have to keep going out and doing their best to put another touchdown or two or three on the board.
Liberty Panthers going to be receiving the second half kickoff. We'll be getting underway momentarily. Panthers heading into a bye week this coming week, and it just so happens to line up with the TVE week for the school and the community. And I don't recall that happening anytime in recent history where the football team got a break on a TVE week. Normally the coaching staff is having to scramble and figure out how to make practices work while being out of school. And fortunately for Coach Lackey and his staff, they're not going to have to worry about that.
It's like herding cats.
Indeed it is. And now we are going to get our first appearance of senior linebacker Colby Ewing. He's been roaming the sidelines the entire first half like a caged animal, and he's ready to get out there and get back into action. Excited to see him step back on the defensive side of the ball, and the kickoff is away, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Ross.
It is fielded by Zach Bro. Zach Bro comes to the near side, now cutting back outside, and now comes back outside before being taken down.
And again, you know, we had this last week, Ross. I thought I heard some whistles from the sideline, these inadvertent sort of whistles. Am I losing my hearing?
No, I've heard that a couple of times tonight. And so now Gavin Fontenot is going to take his troops out onto the field.
Well, Ross, during halftime after the Panther band came off from their performance, I invited Mr. Smith to come up here and have a chat with us, so hopefully he'll make his way up here soon.
Fontenot takes the bell-tie pass, pitches it back to Victorian. Victorian running across the 40 and gets up to the 45 before being hit out of bounds.
Number seven, Kai Elder with the stop. And, boy, that's something that you want to see coming out right out of the gate, being aggressive, getting big chunks.
9-yard pickup. It'll be a 2nd down and 1. Fontenot sends Victorian in motion to the left. He's going to keep this one, goes up the middle, and he is going to get the first down as he gets up to the 46-yard line.
And number 40, Jaron Williams with the stop for the Tigers.
They're going to give him the 48-yard line. Looked like the 46, but they're going to give him the 48. Drive is off to a promising start for Liberty. Corey Bankhead going out on the far side. 2 wide receivers on the near side. Fontenot with Victorian in motion from left to right. Drops back, fires, and over the head of Wilkinson, and it did look like it was tipped.
Yeah, I think that was number 7, Kai Elder, with the hand on the ball. That was a nice looking pass, just at the last second got a hand on the ball.
Fontenot looking over to the Liberty sideline. That's our near sideline for the play call. Offensive line already lined up, ready to go. Making his way back. Ball on the near hash at the Liberty 48-yard line. Bankhead, the far side receiver, 2 wide receivers on the near side. This ball handed off inside to Victorian. Victorian's going to come across the 50, and he will step out of bounds at the Silsbee 46-yard line.
It was a really nice effort from Zach Bro. He had number 2, Kevin Martin, and just walked him down the field and open up and seal that corner.
Back to the line. Victorian to Fontenot's left, now puts him in motion to the right. Fontenot drops back, looks downfield, has his receiver, Bro, and it's over his hands. The pass a little high.
Number 2, Martin on the coverage there, and boy, he was really close to being a little too handsy for me, Ross.
Brings up now a 4th down for Liberty. They need the 42-yard line, and they're going to send out their punt team here. Diego Diaz.
Trey Kibbles comes in to return, receive the punt for the Tigers.
Well, now it looks like they may be going for it. Nope, there's Diaz on the field. He'll go back.
Number 30, Ramirez.
Diaz will be standing on his, going to have to delay a game here against the Panthers, back him up 5 yards.
Delay game ruled against the Panther.
Little miscommunication. Sean Smith joining us.
Hey,
Sean,
how's it
good
going?
to see you. Band sounds great this year. Y'all have
Thank
a big
you.
competition tomorrow?
Yes, sir. We've got Region 10 marching contest tomorrow over at Port Neches Groves. Yeah, we'll be out 3:05 is our performance time. As you saw, we're doing our we're doing our contest show. It's Queen, so we've got Princes of the Universe and Who Wants to Live Forever and Don't Stop Me Now, mixed with the planets, the Symphony of the Planets.
Oh, wow. So a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Talk about all the work that your kids put in during the week and throughout the summer.
So we start the last week of July, and we do 2-a-days like football does. We'll come in the morning and we'll march for 2.5, 3 hours. Then they'll have lunch. We'll come back in the afternoon and do music practice for about 3 hours. And we do that all the way up until the start of school. Once school starts, we have class every day, and then Monday and Tuesday we do a 2-hour practice, and Wednesday we do an hour and a half. So we're out on the field in the heat like the football team is, learning our sets, learning how to memorize the music, get everything put together, and put together the show that you see on the field on Friday nights.
Penalty flag on the field as the center for Silsbee does his best basketball flop impression. Looks a lot like one of the Washington Commanders from last night's football game. That was an incredible flop. It seems like he didn't leave his feet until well after contact.
Yeah.
So a lot of work, and people will watch on Friday nights and may not understand exactly that it doesn't just come together.
Yeah.
You don't just get together on Friday and say, hey, let's do this.
Oh no, this show in particular is 220 measures. We've got 5 or 6 different time signatures, including marching in 5, which is very difficult. And then it's 51 different sets or forms that they have to set, and they have to do all of it from memory.
Big pickup for Silsbee there on first down. Trey Kibbles with the run. Got out to the outside and was able to slip free of a couple of Liberty tacklers. P&G tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
What is that environment like for somebody that's not been to a marching competition before?
It's very different from a football game. A football game, you've got a lot of different things going on. The band is playing music in the background and different things like that. This is just about the bands. Usually the stands are very quiet, so you can hear the quiet moments and the tender sections and the marching shows and everything. And there are 3 judges sitting up in the stands that are watching us march and listening to us play and evaluating us against a rubric that kind of determines what rating we're going to get. We can get anything from a 1 to a 5. A 5 is the lowest rating, and a 1 is a superior. And this year, if we make a 1, then we'll be eligible to advance to the area level of competition at the end of the month, which is up in Lindale.
Jonah Brown with the carry for Silsbee as they come back to the line with a man in the backfield next to Brisbane to his left. Cade Jordan with the stop on that run. Second down and about 4 for Silsbee. Brisbane finds his receiver over on the far sideline. Max Brisbane, brother to brother, and that's going to be enough for a first down. They're going to mark him down at the Liberty 43-yard line. How long are you? Do y'all get there? How early do y'all get there?
We will be pulling in around 1:30-ish because we have to unload, get everything set up, and then we have warm-up before we go to contest. So we start, I want to say we start warming up at 2:25, and then we get about 30 minutes, and then we move over to the field, and as soon as the band before us is done, we take the field and we go do our show. We have 8 minutes to perform the show.
Oh, wow. He's going to get loose. He's up past the 20, the 15, the 10, and he will throttle down and step into the end zone. That's Kevin Martin as he found a seam. And at 8:02 in the third quarter, it is 48-6, pending the extra point for Silsbee. So your guys get the third quarter off. Are y'all going to take off early?
No, we'll be here for the whole game. We're going to be here to support our Panthers right up to the very end, and then we'll head home, and we'll meet in the morning about 10:45 to get ready for our contest.
Something that that the other sports don't have that football has is the band. And it's amazing that point after attempt is no good. And it is 48-6. We'll be back right after this on the Panther Sports Network. To 6, Silsbee with 8:02 left in the third quarter. Ross Norwood, Joe Roberts. We're joined by Sean Smith, Richie Ewing, our engineer and producer extraordinaire. Down in front of us, Zach Bro, the deep man on the near side, Caden Jones, the deep man on the far side. They stand at about their 15-yard line, excuse me. As Arsenault gets ready to kick this one off. Arsenault with a rare point after miss. Waiting for this kick. Kick is off. It is returnable. Angling towards the far sideline. Fielded by Caden Jones. Jones cuts back inside as he crosses the 25 and is going to be down at the 29-yard line. We'll see if they give him. They are going to give him the 30-yard line. Liberty trails Silsbee 48-6 in the third quarter with 7 minutes and 54 seconds left in the quarter. Sean Smith joining us. Sean, right before the break, I'd said football is very different than a lot of sports because you do have the band that plays during the game, and that really adds a lot of momentum and gets the crowd upbeat.
It does, and it's one of the fun things about what we get to do coming out and playing in the stands. One of our goals this year has been to be more present and more active in the stands and play more, and we've added a few extra songs to what we do, and our goal is to just get the energy up. No matter what's going on, we want to make sure everybody's pumped up for the Panthers.
Kibbles with the near interception, but it hits the turf first, and it'll be second down and 10 for Liberty. What are some of the songs y'all play throughout the game?
So we have some of the old standards that every band plays. We've got Land of a Thousand Dances, and we've got the Hey song. Of course, we've got our fight song. Some of the things that we play, we also play for the Panthers when they do their halftime show. So we've got some more recent rock hits like Uma Thurman by Fall Out Boy and Hand Clap by Fits and the Tantrums. And then we have a group of songs that are solely the students' responsibility. We call them tags. And you'll hear those on kickoffs and little shorts in the stands. So we have a bunch of those like Whoa, that's one of the ones that the football team absolutely loves. And then we just added a new one tonight that's Cumbia de la Cobra. Some of our students wanted to start adding some music from Tejano and Banda bands. So they brought that to me and we worked it up, and they're real excited about that one.
Victorian spun down in the backfield by Lorenzi. I don't have to tell you how bad I was at band. You and I were in the same class. As this ball's thrown deep down the field, Zach Bro can't come up with it. It is intercepted. And Silsbee will get the ball back. That is going to be intercepted by Kyle Aaron. And that ball just a little bit underthrown as Bro could not get back over the defensive backs, and Liberty turns the ball over. Silsbee will have this ball at their own 37-yard line. You and I were in beginner band.
Yeah.
I was a year older. It didn't help me any. And you were always a fantastic trumpet player.
Well, thank you.
How do you use that experience, being in this certain position as a member of the band while you're teaching these kids?
It's a unique position to be in because I can look at them and say, look, I know what you're going through because I did it in your shoes when I was in this band. I know the history of the community and where the band has been. I was in the band back in '98, the one time that we went to the state marching contest. I'm teaching the students of some of the people we went to school with, so I have that connection with a lot of the people in town, and I kind of know what the band has done and what we're trying to become, and it really helps me with dealing, interacting with the students and helping them get to their best level performance.
And that was under the direction of Charles Horton.
Yes.
He was the band director, head band director, and you had Tom Guidry in there.
Yes, sir, and Allison Hardy.
Allison Hardy. Oh, yes, Miss Hardy. Always fun in her class. This ball is going to be handed off, and coming back outside is Kibbles. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 37 for Silsbee. It'll bring up a second down and 10. Landon Curry in on the stop for Liberty. You see it, because I'll be at the school and I'll see y'all practicing after school and even during the summertime. And talk about when you get into competition season, how you balance that.
It's always time management. We've got the things we have to do for Friday night, then we've got the things we have to do for UIL, and it's managing the time. One of the things that has helped is the way we do assignments in band. They have to break everything down and pass it off in little chunks, so it's a little more manageable. But yeah, we have in class is music and outside is marching, so that we can spend time focusing on all of the aspects.
All that running picked up a yard for Silsbee. 5:56 and counting. Jonah Brown, the ball carrier. Caden Jones on the stop. That always strikes me. Plus, you have to keep them up with their studies. Because first and foremost, they're students.
And that's a major thing that we push is pass your classes, because if you don't pass your classes, you can't do the fun things, you can't go to the competitions. And so trying to stay on top of that and help them to be successful. And we've got student mentors, and they have Thursday off specifically so that they can go to tutorials and be in those teachers' classes and making sure that they're getting it. Because band is fun, but getting those grades and getting that study done is the most important part.
Ashton Cartwright gets a toe down before it hits the white on the far side of the field for the reception. Still going to be short of a first down by a couple of yards. Brings up a fourth down and about 2 yards. The ball is at the 45 of Silsbee. Talk about your leaders this year.
Oh, my leaders this year are absolutely fantastic. I've got 2 drum majors, senior Michaela Farabee and junior Lexi Chaparro. They lead the band. They help make sure that the uniforms are right and that everybody's got their uniform thing taken care of. They help get everybody on and off the field. Our section leaders take care of their sections. It's gotten to where everybody knows what their job is, and they make the band run so that I can focus on the things that I have to do as a music educator. And it really is their band. I just show them the way, and then they do what it takes to get it done.
On fourth down, a false start by Silsbee. It's going to force them back 5 yards. Dawson Victoria, the deep man for Liberty, as he walks in at the 35-yard line, standing on his own 35-yard line, awaiting this punt. Snap, about number high, just gets it off, and it's a wobbler. Gets over the head of Dawson Victorian. Victorian fields the ball. He is going to come across the 30. There's a flag down as he steps down. They're going to say he called a fair catch, and that will be a penalty against Liberty. You cannot run after calling a fair catch. I did completely miss the fair catch call. He did have to go and field that as he turned his back, so that was a little lost on me. He made the fair catch signal prior to the ball getting there, which is when you would make it. It wouldn't help you much if you did it after you got the ball. But big penalty against Liberty, and that's going to push them back. And Liberty will start this drive from the center of the field at the 15-yard line, at their own 15-yard line. And so a mistake there as Fontenot gets ready. He's got it back to his left. Drops back, throws to the near side, has Zach Bro. And Bro going to catch this one, is pushed out of bounds, and I could not see where they're going to mark that. That was Jaquez Carter with the hit, and he is going to get up to the 16-yard line, or are they giving him the 17? They're going to give him the 17-yard line. So it'll bring up second down.
No, looks like, yeah, here we go.
Second down and 8. The public address announcer a little confused there, as I was. Low snap, handed off to Victorian. Victorian running to the near side, cuts back in a little to try to find some more room. He's going to be taken down at the Liberty 30-yard line by Jaden Miller. And that's enough for a first down. The Panthers giving themselves some more breathing room, and there's 4:04 left and counting in the third quarter. Silsbee leads the Liberty Panthers 48-6. And the leadership of your band members is very important.
Yes. I've had bands before where we were developing the leadership, and it's very hard to be successful, but these guys are on top of it all the time.
Zach Bro with the catch and run. Jaquez Carter was the man who stopped him. A nice pickup on first down. It'll bring up a second down and 2. Ball on the near hash mark. You've had bands that...
In the beginning of my career, I had a band that had developing leadership, and they didn't quite know what to do, so it was a lot more hands-on. It was a lot more difficult to be successful. But with these guys, they know what the job is. They know when it needs to happen. All they ask me is if I want it on the left side, the right side, and then they take care of it. And, they get that job done.
Dawson Victorian with the run had a block from Victor Ruiz. What about the returning juniors next year?
Our junior class is a very strong class. I'm very proud of them. They're stepping in. They're already starting to step in and find out what it is the seniors are doing and filling in those spots, especially musically, which has been very nice.
Injury on the field, play is momentarily stopped, and a lot to look forward to. But you've got a good group this year that can do some damage the rest of the way.
Yeah, they're doing really, really well. We're very excited about this show. It's been one I first thought about doing this show about 5 years ago, and it didn't really exist. So we had somebody write this for us. We're the only band that has played this show, and it's specifically arranged for these kids.
Looks like good weather tomorrow.
Yes, it should be very nice. I've got to remember to bring a hat, or else I'm going to burn because it's very bright at Port Neches.
Just like me, I have that spot on the top of my head, and if I don't have it, Cord Carter was banged up on that play. He comes out of the game. He's walking around on the sideline. Ball at the Liberty 41-yard line, first down and 10. Our producer, Richard Ewing, was in that contest in 1992. He said 93 first, now 92.
Oh,
well,
nice.
now we're told 88 through 92 is. Pass is complete to Manny Freeman, but his knee down on the ground, so does pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, I started in 8th grade in '97 marching in the Liberty High School band.
Ball at the Liberty 45-yard line. Second down and about 6. Ball handed off to Victorian. Victorian coming to the right side and cannot get a whole lot. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that was Jonah Brown with the tackle. So 8th grade.
Yep.
Yeah, I had already kind of been, one of my favorite band stories, if you will, was playing, Mr. Horton was working with me, and he said, yeah, you got to try a different instrument. You're not good with the trumpet. And he was right. And this ball is turned over, and Liberty loses the football. Jackson Cryer with the recovery. And with 1:45 left in the third quarter, it's 48-6 Silsbee. And
yep, we used to have to go all the way out to LCM.
And that was a sack by Cryer and Pablo Lorenzi. And so it'll be first down and 10, Silsbee from the Liberty 39-yard line. Had to see that, being blind and everything. I wasn't any better at the trombone.
Trombone is a very difficult instrument because everybody else has buttons. In trombone, you have to have the muscle memory of where your hand has to be on that slide because there is no kind of guide.
Yeah, they desperately tried to help me, but I was beyond that.
Also number 27, Caden Jones.
So pickup of about 5 there.
Pick up about 5, they're going to bring up 2nd and 5.
It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 34-yard line of Liberty on the far hash. Silsbee in control of the game at 48-6. Under a minute and 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Brisbane gets this one, hands it off inside to Kibbles. Kibbles runs forward and gets up to the 31-yard line, or down to the 31-yard line. And he'll be short of a first down. He's going to have about 3rd and 2. The public address announcer I can hear is 3rd down and 2. 33 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I'm about to have to go kick the band back up.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your year. Good luck tomorrow. And
thank you.
We hope to talk to you in a couple of weeks in y'all's next step.
Sounds great. Well, we're hopeful. Thank you for everything. Liberty
High School Band Director Sean Smith joining us. They have a big competition tomorrow in Port Neches Grove. At 3:05 is their performance time. Make sure if you can to get out there. It's a fun and exciting time, these competitions, because you get all the music and it's a great time if you've never gone. A great show. There we go. It's a great show. And we are done with the third quarter after 3. Silsbee 48, Liberty 6 on the Panther Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. After 3, Silsbee leading the Liberty Panthers 48-6. Ross had a great third quarter conversation with the Liberty High School Band Director, Sean Smith. They're getting ready to go to competition tomorrow. And the Liberty Panthers stepping back out onto the field. The Silsbee Tigers in the middle of a drive here, and it seems as though they're not in any hurry to score, which is good news for Panther fans.
A fresh 12 minutes, the last 12 minutes of this game, unless Liberty can mount a furious comeback. This ball's going to be handed off to Kibbles. Kibbles comes outside, flag comes in late. We'll see what this one is going to be. It's in the area of holding, but it did come in late.
Nice to see Colby Ewing out there in the thick of that stop.
It is a hold against Silsbee. We'll bounce them back 10 yards. Colby missing the first half, in now for the second half. He's ripping and ready to go.
Ripping and ready. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Gary, part of the Silsbee grounds crew, taking care of us. I made a miscalculation with our gas consumption for our generator, and he hooked us up. So thank you to Gary and the rest of the grounds crew here at Silsbee. And boy, we have been so fortunate everywhere we've gone. The crew and the people have been so nice to us and have accommodated us, Ross.
It is a huge help on the road. Ball handed off inside, going towards the far side of the field is Arian.
We've got a flag down there at the 15. Dawson Victorian over there. There was some pushing and shoving on the back end of that.
This will, in all likelihood, go against the Panthers, which they don't need. But there could be, our producer says, there could be offsetting penalties here.
Well, Ross, there's a maturity level that you have to have. You can't push and shove at the end of plays. You can't do that. You can't give great teams extra yards. And we've done that far too often.
That'll be tacked on at the end of the run, as it was a dead ball foul. And this will be placed on the Liberty's, what is that, the 18-yard line?
Looks like the 18-yard line. The chain gang with some confusion there.
Liberty 18, 48-6 Silsbee. Ball on the far hash mark. Brisbane comes out. First down and 10. He has a back to his left. Two wide receivers on the near, one on the far. He's going to hand this one off to Kibbles up the middle. Kibbles cuts outside. He is in for a touchdown. And that will put the score above 50. Joe, quick math there.
Yeah, that's very quick math. 54-6, Ross. Look at you. You said you couldn't do it.
I didn't. Point after attempt, 54-6, Silsbee. Silsbee, the fourth-ranked team coming into this week in the state 4A Division II.
You know, we've talked a lot about Draylon Miller, but, man, what about Martin and Kibbles? They are speedsters, Ross. As soon as they break daylight, they are gone.
A lot of speed for this Silsbee Tiger team. Hold is down, kick is up, it goes through the uprights, and it's 55-6. Silsbee with 11:04 left in the game. Be back after this on the Panther Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 11:04 to go in the contest. Silsbee scoring with a big run over the left-hand side, 55-6. Ross, Houston Astros back in action tomorrow on the road in Seattle in Game 3 of the American League Division Series. Houston with a 2-0 lead going into Game 3. It's going to be a big one at Safeco, the first time they've hosted a playoff game in 21 years. I would imagine that place is going to be rocking and rolling.
And like so many of the sporting venues, it's changed its name since it opened. It's now T-Mobile Park.
Oh, that's right.
Safeco.
No, and I was still thinking it was Safeco, and I watch a bunch of games, and I should have known better. The Houston Texans off this week. Had a big win last Sunday against the Jaguars.
Caden and Victorian, the deep men for Liberty, they're stacked right behind each other as Arsenault gets ready to kick this one. The kick is off, going towards the far sideline. Caden Jones moves over outside the numbers to field it, now cutting back across field. He's across the 20, the 25, still on his feet after contact, and he is going to be taken down at the Liberty 31-yard line.
Boy, that was a nice return. Logan Fisher with a stop on that. Well, that was a really nice return, probably the best kickoff return we've had all evening.
He did a lot of running there.
Ross, the game that I'm looking forward to most this weekend, Sunday night, the Dallas Cowboys with the marquee Sunday evening game heading up to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. 5-0 Eagles, 4-1 Dallas Cowboys. Who would have thunk it?
NFC East matchup, and those, no matter the records, are always tough, but now you have two top teams in the NFC squaring off. Ball on the near hash mark for Liberty. They're going to say, no, it was the 31. Ball is going to be handed off to Colby Ewing, and Ewing is immediately met at the line, and he's going to lose a yard or two. He is going to lose 2 to the 28.
Well, normally when Ewing's in there, he's a blocking back. It's nice to see him get to tote the rock a little bit.
The senior for the Panthers. Also familiar with our producer, Richard Ewing.
Yeah, they're distant relations.
Bankhead is going to be the lone receiver on the far side. 2 wide receivers on the near side, a tight end. Ewing stays in the backfield to the left. This ball's going to be handed off. Ewing goes inside and again is going to be met rather quickly, and that's going to put the Panthers back to their 25-yard line. Under 10 minutes to play in this one.
Ross, I don't know if you checked out some of our commercials. One of them for the Valley Players at the end of this month on the 27th, 29th, and 30th. Arsenic and Old Lace. Deborah Pickett directing that. And I may or may not be in it. I don't know.
What a combination. Fontenot gets this ball. Ewing blocking for Fontenot. Throws, finds Wilkinson on the left side, and he is going to be taken down. That's going to be close, if not, should be a first down. It is. The chains have not moved. Oh, that is 4th down. I was thinking, I forgot they had that going backwards. Yeah. Boy, I'm right on top of things, as always.
Well, that was as close to a first down as I am to fitting into the pants I wore in high school, Ross.
Yeah, don't even remind me.
It's not close at all, Mr. Ewing. Not close at all.
I was looking at the initial line of scrimmage marker. Diaz is back. He's standing on his 19. Low snap, fields it at his shoe tops, but he gets one off. It's spiraling and ill-advisable. Fair catch there as he was going down to his feet. I believe that was Kibbles.
Well, that was a great punt, and I don't know why he tried to field that, but kudos to that young man. That was nice hands.
Yeah, he had to come over towards the near side to try to make a catch, and when he did, he started falling down. Ball will be at the Silsbee 29-yard line. Sean Smith was talking about that they just recently installed. I guess that would.
I won't disagree with you.
Said a few more words that don't need to be said. Ball on the near hash mark at the Silsbee 29-yard line. Brisbane comes back out. He's in the shotgun back to his left, hands it off to that back who comes inside. That is going to be Aaron. And Aaron is going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
There you go. Cade Jordan popping up. Colby Ewing both in there on the stop.
8:35 left. Silsbee leads Liberty 55-6. Now under 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game.
Again, the Panthers heading into their bye week this coming week as we head into TVE week. The Liberty Panther Sports Network will be there live streaming the TVE parade on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. You'll be able to find that on our panthersports.com link.
High snap. Brought down by Brisbane. Brisbane hands off to his back, who moves forward, actually going to lose a yard. Yeah, they are going to lose a yard. The down box had not moved. So ball will be at the Silsbee 28-yard line, 3rd down and about, is it going to be 11?
It looks like 11. A name we haven't called before, Parker Balch, number 20, in on the stop.
Silsbee breaks the huddle. 9 formation. And it's handed off to Kibbles. Kibbles forward. And he is going to be taken down by Wilkinson.
That was Victor Ruiz in there with the stop. This defensive front. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The first time we stepped all over each other there, Ross. What's happening?
Silsbee will punt this ball. Jeremiah Jackson looks like the punter for Silsbee. 16. And it's going to be a fake, and he is running on the near side outside the numbers. He's got the first down. He's across the 50 to the 45. Goes back inside. Across the 20, 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown for Silsbee on the fake punt. And with 6:19 left, Silsbee puts another 6 on the board pending the extra point. Joe?
Well, Ross, if I had a camera and you saw my face, you might see a face that was wondering why you would run that when you were up 55-6 with only a few minutes of the ball game left. But I'm not the head coach, so who am I?
61-6 now, pending the Arsenault extra point. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it's an end-over-ender, and it's no good. Misses wide left, and 61-6 to score. 6:19 left in the game on the Liberty Panthers Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching the Liberty Panther football team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. 6:19 to go in the 4th quarter. Silsbee 61, your Liberty Panthers 6. Number 16, Radrian Balltrip with the
fake punt.
Quote-unquote fake punt.
It was a fake punt.
Okay, all right. Fake punt, and he ran that from, it looks like, about the Silsbee 10, 90 yards for a touchdown. He ran up the right-hand side and then broke back to the left, and once he got outside on the left, no one there, and his speed just walked him right into the end zone, Ross.
After that fake punt, I'd be watching for an onside kick here, even though they're up 61-6.
Well, it's at this point of the game, you want to work out things that you don't normally get to work out. I guess if I were going to be optimistic, I could say that.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. And we do have a new kicker, and we don't have him on our roster. Number 17, and he gets an end-over-end kick away, fielded by Caden Jones on the far hash mark. Comes back over to the near side. He's across the 20 and goes down at about the 22-yard line. That was Kobe Arsenault.
Yeah, that was. He looked different.
Well, I confused myself because you had Balltrip back there to punt.
1st and 10 Panthers on their own 23.
Ball will be at the Liberty 23-yard line.
See, I wish our listening and viewing audience could hear the words that our producer says to us. He's mischievous, I will just say that.
2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Fontenot looks like he's going to run it, flips it back to Victorian. Victorian running towards the far sideline is going to get up to, we'll see where they're going to mark this. He give him the 27 or the 28? 28-yard line for Liberty, 5:44 and counting. They trail Silsbee 61-6. Ball on the far hash mark, second down and about 6 yards. Hand off to Victorian. Victorian going to come out to the near side. Ball's on the ground, and it is jumped on by an offensive lineman. And Liberty keeps possession. Cord Carter with the recovery.
Ross, the Panthers will be back in action on the 28th of October. It'll be senior night at Memorial Stadium. Pink out game. Be the final home game of the season for the Panthers.
3rd down and 1 from just inside the near hash mark. Tony Denman catches this ball in the backfield. He's going to get across the 35 and be taken down at the Liberty 40-yard line. Good enough for a first down.
Ross, you can get your pink out shirts for that October 28th game by contacting Mr. Ewing at reewing@libertyisd.net or by going to the front office at the Liberty High School, and Miss Armstrong will hook you up with an order form. Shirts are $20. Oh, I think we have sweatshirts and hoodies available. I'm not sure how much they're going to cost, but
ball handed to Victorian, bounces outside, cuts back inside. He sprees across the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and a flag's down.
And he's going to get flagged for taunting 100%. And he threw that flag before he scored. That may not be a touchdown.
That should not be a dead ball because the ball was not dead. It should be a 15-yard mark off. Flag sitting on the 10-yard line inside the near number.
I'm going to be honest with you, Ross. I don't know that you should taunt when you're losing 61-6.
Well, you shouldn't taunt ever, but definitely not when you're down there. So they're waiting to see. They're trying to decide exactly where it was. Unsportsmanlike conduct. And the touchdown will not count. Joe, you pointed out that was not a dead ball foul.
Was not.
So the 15 yards will be marked off, and the ball will be at the Silsbee 25-yard line.
And the sad part about that, Ross, is that was a great play. The line opened up a monster hole, and then Victorian made a couple of great moves to get down there, and then his speed carried him all the way through there. No need for that.
Be first down and 10 from the Silsbee 25-yard line. Under 4 minutes to play. Going to have 2 backs in the backfield for Fontenot. Fontenot going to hand off to the deep back. There is a misplay there, and the ball fumbles forward, and it is going to be recovered by Silsbee. Never had possession of that football on the handoff. So it'll be first down and 10 Silsbee with 3:47 left to play from the Silsbee 23-yard line.
If a sound could say it all, Ross, I think that just said it all for me. These Liberty Panthers have done some really exceptional things in this ball game, and then they've done some less than exceptional things. The key is to do more exceptional things than less than exceptional things. Use this experience as a learning curve, and then come back. They'll have 2 games left after this. They'll be at home against Hampshire Finette, and then reverse that at Bridge City, and then on the road at Hampshire Finette. Or did I say that reversed?
Reverse.
Oh, reversed.
Tackle in the backfield as Brisbane under center handed that ball off, and it went nowhere. Tackled for a loss. So about a 5-yard loss there. Ball now at the Silsbee 19-yard line. On the near hash mark. Silsbee not in a hurry here with 3:04 left. and counting. The crowd from Liberty has stayed. The Silsbee crowd has filtered out. Brisbane under center hands this ball off to his running back, Kibbles. And Kibbles gets across the line of scrimmage, but not much further, maybe a yard. And it'll be third down for Silsbee and 14. Under 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this ball game. Silsbee with a 61-6 lead as they huddle up behind the ball. Again, not in any hurry. They're down at 14. Brisbane runs into the huddle with the play call. They break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage. And we're going to get a timeout from Silsbee. They took too long there, and we'll take it with them on the Liberty Panthers Sports Network. 61-6 Silsbee, 2:05 left in the game.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. Alongside me, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, Seth Stewart on our camera tonight, Alejandro Minivar, the birthday man, on the other camera. And 9-4A action just about to wrap up tonight at Tiger Stadium in Silsbee. Silsbee with a commanding 61-6 lead in the waning minutes of this particular contest. Your Liberty Panthers moving into their bye week this coming week, and then wrapping up with a home game on the 28th, and then on the road to close out the season the following week. Ross?
Brisbane hands this off. Running down the far side of the field is the running back for Silsbee, Kibbles. And he will pick up some good yardage there as that ball comes forward to the 28-yard line of Silsbee. It is fourth down. They're going to move that back there. The head linesman initially marked it one way, so the ball will be on the Silsbee 27-yard line. I want to remind everybody to save the date, March 4th, 2023. The Liberty Education Foundation will have their yearly fundraiser. It's casino night, a new thing here. Been involved in that, and it'll be a great time to raise money for a great cause as the Liberty Education Foundation does such good work, grants. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right now at one of the grants from last year. To the AV department you and Richard got. Yeah,
no doubt it's a great thing, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation. I got a grant a couple of years ago to get this program off the ground, bought some cameras with the money that they gave, and then when Mr. Ewing was lured across the Trinity River from Dayton, and then he and I began our collaborations, we were able to be fortunate enough to get another grant and get some more cool stuff, and forever grateful for the Education Foundation. Also grateful for our other sponsors, Michelle Mango Marandino and C. Bruce Stratton, both attorneys who sponsor our scoreboard. And again, without these cool sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do these broadcasts and other things like we are doing.
Low snap, punt is off. It's high in the air, going to bring rain. It drops at the Liberty 49-yard line, takes a Tiger bounce, and it is going to be killed at the Liberty 42-yard line.
Ross, you'll be able to catch us again in action on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. on the Panther Sports Network, panthersports.com, as we stream the TVE Parade. It's Parade and TVE Week, right, Ross?
That is, and Jennifer Region, the chairman of the parade, does a great job organizing it. It's no small feat.
Heck, that's right.
Probably be over 90 entries
And none of them can stop for a performance?
No.
Oh,
with that many entries, if you start stopping, you are talking about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that goes on for 5.5 hours. The Baby Parade tomorrow in downtown Liberty on the square.
Baby Parade. That is always well attended, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I am a Baby Parade alum.
What? You were part of that?
Then we jump back on Wednesday. Ball going to be handed off to Denman. Denman runs outside. There's flags being thrown, whistles being blown.
We do have a flag on the flag.
And Denman's going to get a nice bit of yardage, but that's going to come back on a hold. I thought I heard the whistle.
Yeah, it's these side little whistles, and it sounds like it's coming from the stands or the sideline, and you never know when it's real or not real.
I just want to brag on the Liberty fans. They've come out for this game, and they have stayed. Silsbee's fans have filed out as the night's gone on and continue to file out in droves tonight, and you would have thought there would be a bigger home crowd.
Well, tonight I really didn't see a huge crowd on the other side, and it never really got loud in here. That's the other thing. When we were at West Orange, their band was rocking, and their crowd was pretty raucous.
First down at 20. Ball flipped back to Manny Freeman. Manny Freeman catches it, and he will get a couple of yards before being slung down on the field by Jaquez Carter, a name that's been called quite a bit in this one.
Well, after watching this Silsbee team, Ross, I expect them to make some pretty significant noise when the playoffs start here in a couple of weeks. Brisbane, the quarterback, and Miller's the real deal, Ross.
Fontenot in the shotgun. Manny Freeman to his left. He's going to roll out and run this ball as he crosses the 40 on the near side. Gets just outside the numbers and tackled. And that'll bring up third down and 16. And that will do it for this ball game. Liberty drops it to Silsbee 61-6. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you on Wednesday at the TVE Parade, opening day parade. Almost said baby parade.
The opening day parade. You've been watching Liberty Panther football on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing. We'll see you Wednesday.